Ah, match day 2. We do love it. It's already a good one, to be fair, based on all the stuff that's happened over the last 24 hours or so. You probably know what I'm talking about. We'll touch on it just a little bit later on. But for now, hello, how are you all doing? Hopefully everything's working as intended. There should be no lag, no bullshit, no faff, no fuss. How you all doing? Hopefully it's a good one today. We're up against Aberdeen. We know the story with the Dons. They beat us last time out. Obviously we know what happened in that final. It took a lot of luck for them and penalties more importantly. So at least, worst case scenario, maybe we get a draw today. But it should be relatively a bit more comfortable. Like I said, we'll kind of touch on the kind of key details a little bit kind of further ahead of time. But for now, hello, how you all doing? I'll shout out the first few. How you doing, Abel? Nice to see you. Hope you're well as well, Chief. Likewise with you, James. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Let's go get a win. Likewise, I hope we fucking do. It would be nice to kind of kick on after the mistakes that were made yesterday, let's say. I mean, let's touch on that very briefly. Obviously, Rangers took on Dundee, I think it was Dundee anyway, yeah, and they drew one each. It was a pretty interesting one, to be honest with you, because as much as Rangers were still the dominant team in that one, you still feel like they were really lucky just to get that single point. I think the main talking point was obviously that penalty right at the end of the game. A lot of kind of should have been given, shouldn't have been given. I don't think it should have. I think it was a very soft one, to be fully honest, but that seems to be the theme with the SFA this season when it comes to VAR. They're just tending to give the calls kind of more on the offensive end than the defensive end, which is what it is, I suppose. But nonetheless, they still didn't necessarily do what they needed to do. Like I said, I'll just pull that result up here and now, but they drew one each. Pretty interesting game for those that watched it. Like I said, Dundee weren't necessarily the better side, but could have absolutely took the game. I mean, they did actually have that chance late on as well, where they could have kind of stole at the end, even after Rangers got that penalty chance with that header. I think it was Robertson on the near post, but he just didn't take it. So, have to look at it like that. How you doing as well, Flash? I just noticed you were in there as well, Chief. Hope you're enjoying yourself. But yeah, I mean, it makes the league pretty interesting as is already, because again, when you look at the table, 2 games into the season, Rangers are still technically below us, and we have that game in hand. If we beat Aberdeen, then it kind of cements them to the foot of the table, because again, they're the only team yet to pick up a point as of now. Every other team has in some way, form or another. A few teams have picked up wins, others like Livingston have actually managed to maintain their unbeaten run so far, which again isn't too impressive. They've not faced any higher end teams, but still, for a team like Livingston, fair enough, you know what I mean. It's a good omen considering how close they were to the drop last season. I think they'll take it, all things considered. But obviously there are games to be played afterwards. Both the Edinburgh clubs kick off at I think just after we do anyway, I think 3 in their respective matches. So again, the table's still very much subject to change. If Hibs don't win their game, or Hearts don't win theirs, then obviously Celtic could take advantage of that and put themselves a few points clear. But it's about kind of setting the tone, putting something very much early on the board. I think that's the key thing, because we don't want a rinse and repeat against St Mirren. I guess St Mirren are a more defensive team than Aberdeen are on paper, but still does not take away from the fact that we do not want a goal that has to come in the 88th minute after some scrappy play. It would be less than ideal. We want this one to be a bit more comfortable. How you doing, Craig? Nice to see you, mate. It's been a while. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Likewise with you guys. Nice to see you as well, fella. It's a pretty interesting one, but we'll kind of touch on the lineups, because Aberdeen, they have got 1 or 2 changes since the last time we faced in that, well, since that final I should say, but relatively their formation stays pretty much as you would expect it to be. It's a bit more of a progressive version of that 4-3-3 that they played against us in that final. It's more of a 4-2-3-1. We've got that more advanced central attacking midfielder, which is one of their new signings, I believe, that Awochichi, I think it's pronounced. But the rest of the team, for all intents and purposes, looks pretty much identical. I think Milanovic is the only other real change, but besides that, everything else remains the same. You've got Devlin, Milner, Jensen, Maitov, Shinnie, pretty much the same kind of backline and goalkeeper, as well as the same kind of midfielders in F. Nielsen and Dorrington. So that's interesting. Keskinen, obviously we know him from a couple of games last season, especially in that 2-2 draw back in I think November of last year. That was a hell of a game in its own right, and he was one of the players in that match, so we know he's capable of doing some damage. And of course, Yengi's a big man up front. He can surprise some people. He just wasn't very effective in the last match for them. But for Celtic, a lot of people are talking, would McCowan get the nod? Me and Flash were discussing it last night. Could potentially been something that happened, but we've actually switched up a few things, but not in the places you would expect. Forrest gets the nod, which is what most people were kind of hoping to see, because he was a very, very big influence off the bench for us in that match against St Mirren. So of course we'll kind of stick with him, I'd imagine, and I think makes sense to start him in this match. Yang's there in case, obviously, just in case of the whole tired leg situation, but I think that's proper. Probably means Jan will start that game against Falkirk, that cup match. So rest of the team is kind of what you would expect, especially with the back line. Tierney, Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Scales. You could have made the case for Trusty, but Scales was actually one of the better defenders against St Mirren, it has to be said, so it makes sense to keep him in the lineup. Schmeichel, of course, is Schmeichel. He's obviously going to start. Same with McGregor, that's a given. He was arguably one of the better midfielders in the last match. So yeah, quite happy with that. But a lot of people talking, like I said, I thought McCowan would have got the nod, but instead they've given it to Nygren again, which is a bit of an interesting one. I thought McCowan would be a bit more progressive in this system, but they seem to switch up. That's what they're going with. And of course Reo stays out in that left, so there's no Angels, no Bernardo either, so make of that what you will. Seems to be the same midfield that started the last match, so interesting. And of course the front three, like I said, Forrest is the only change in that. Maeda stays where he's meant to be, and of course Ida maintains his spot. Honestly, thought Yamada should have got the start. Have to kind of say it, so yeah, one of those. Hopefully Ida has a good game, but personally I think Yamada should have got the nod for this one, the same way that I think McCowan should have got the nod over Nygren. But I like the lineup, it's good enough, it should get the job done. It's that strong similar 4-3-3, it's very much a midfield battle today. You can imagine that's how it's going to be on paper anyway, so hopefully it plays out. And like I said, if Celtic win, it puts us in good stead. It puts us 4 points above Rangers with 2 games played, which I don't think anyone was really expecting, but it's something we'll absolutely take, so hopefully that's the case. And like I said, my predictions down there, you can see it's 3-1 I've gone with today. I think Aberdeen are good enough to get a goal, but I think we should have a kick-on type of performance just to kind of show that we're still very much like cemented and kicked in and focused, because a lot of the talk behind the scenes with the board and obviously transfer signings and all the off-the-pitch stuff, let's say, hasn't been particularly too positive, so to get something down on the pitch would be very much needed today. So Rodgers will probably try and make a point of that. It's probably why he started with one of the most stronger starting 11s. So actually should probably leave that starting 11 up so you can take a gander at it as well. You know that Schmeichel's in between the sticks, so you know how that goes. Was it Gassama that was on the ball? It was, yeah, genuinely. I think for that penalty call, he was the one that got in the box. It was just the way he dangled his legs. You could tell it was very much a, I'll try and look for this type of foul. And he got away with it, let's say. You know what I mean? You have to be fully honest. The boys are just getting ready to walk out the tunnel. Aberdeen players are standing there ready to go. It's definitely going to be an interesting match for damn sure anyway. We'll read out the lineups one last time before obviously the game kicks off. So anyone that's just joining us, you will be filled in on Aberdeen's lineups too, do not worry. Celtic should win the day, hopefully so guys. That would kind of be the bare minimum expectation. It's a good enough side to get the job done. It's just a case of if they've managed to work on the finishing drills over the course of the last week or so. Would be very interesting one to see how we kind of start this one, because like I said, it's not really about the second half. We know we're very strong in the second half. Aberdeen will tire out. The changes that they can make are less effective, let's say, than the changes we could, but that's not really the point, because Aberdeen are a team that tend to score early and hold on. If they don't score, they tend to fizzle out as the game goes on, so that's the kind of key thing that works in our favour. But we have to stave them after the first 20-25 minutes, because Aberdeen will need to make a point of it. They didn't have a very good outing against Hearts in their first match, so in their head they'll have to go at it as well. They can't exactly afford to sit in and be 0 points into a 2-game season and be the only team that's not picked up a point of some sort, let's say. But Celtic are definitely the favourites for this one. It's hard to argue against it, and we shall read out the lineups just one last time for those that are joining us or those that are interested. So we'll start with the home side. It makes sense too. In goals for Aberdeen, it is Maitov, who was like an absolute rock for them in between the sticks the last time we faced. Hopefully it's not a similar case today. Graham Shinnie and Jensen are the fallbacks in their respective edges, with Milner and Devlin playing inside as their central defenders. Dorrington and Hef Nielsen are playing as their centre mids, or more or less anchor CDMs if you want to think about it like that, with Awachiche playing as their more advanced central attacking midfielder, with Keskinen and Milanovic playing either side, and of course Yenge, their big number 9, starting in between the middle, trying to look for those off the load crosses. I would imagine anyway a lot of it will come from the outside. You can imagine that's why they've got their midfielders a bit more stretched out than you would usually expect for an Aberdeen kind of system, but nonetheless that's what they're going to go with. Hopefully Theron's got an idea of what he's going to do, especially when it comes to defending. That will be interesting to see. Maybe they'll drop Awachiche just a little bit further back to cover that extra space when it's necessary. Will be interesting to see. Nonetheless though, for Celtic our lineup is as follows. It's Schmeichel in between the sticks, and of course Tierney and Johnston starting either side on the fallback spot. Scales and Carter Vickers hold their maintained spots for the first match as well, so no Trusty in this one, which is a bit of an interesting one nonetheless. Same with our new boy, he isn't going to feature either, but The midfield remains unchanged too. McGregor starts, Reo on the left and Nygren on the right. You could make a case that in Gilles, or honestly McCowan could have started this one, but nonetheless it's Nygren that gets the call. Forrest starts on the right ahead of Yang this time round, and the other two hold their positions. You could make the case Yamada should have started, but Ida seems to have nudes of the manager, so he's probably found a way to bluff himself into line up once again. Nonetheless though, should be a good game of football. Hope to see some good performances. Would like to see a bit of an improvement out of Maeda, and ideally a bit more attacking prowess out of Ida. Those are the two key things we want to see. Defensively we were okay against St Mirren, although we didn't have too much to do. Aberdeen will give us a lot more of a test today. If you want a little look at some of the bench options, there you go, you can take a little look through that while they get the huddle over and done with. How you doing, Arden? Nice to see you, my lad. Likewise with you, Yad. I just realised that's a bar, hell yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't agree that it was a it just wasn't a penalty. I mean, I have to be fully honest, it's soft. I've seen them given for less and I've seen them not given for more. It's one of those, right, that's just, it just feels a wee bit scummy given the fact that it was kind of won that way, but the boys are about to get the ball rolling, so we'll get pretty much everything ready to go. We'll just turn the music down a little tad just in case it's a wee bit too annoying for you. Just want to make sure that it's all sounding correct. If you're just joining us, hope you are having a class enough day. We have kicked off, so we have to refresh, and hopefully Google should be with us. Sometimes it takes a minute or so do forgive us. Yeah, it's going to do that thing. We'll refresh in about 30 seconds or so, but until then I'll keep you updated. Scales passes out towards Carter Vickers. It's a good day for it. Pataudry looks sunny, it's stacked out, the fans are packing out the stands, which is always good to see. As much as I want to give Aberdeen shite for how they've played domestically in some cases, especially over the last 6 months, their fans have shown out in force, and today seems to be like one of those days. Tierney immediately tries to fire a ball in behind. Reo doesn't necessarily do the best job of dealing with that one, and it should be dealt with. Dorrington just kind of pips it out. One back immediately by Celtic on the high end though. Maintained calmly but given away. Not really dealt with, just kind of bundled over there, and that should be an early fill. We should give this a refresh and we should have everything working as intended. There we go, thank you Google. We're with you now. Pull up the stats so you can see those on either side, at least the shots and stuff. Definitely going to be an interesting one. It looks like Celtic are starting the faster of the two sides. There's some immediate pressure there. Shinny just about gets away with it. Played out, takes a big deflection off of Nygren, so there's a bit of a chase down. Carter Vickers kind of beats the man to the ball, but not the ball to the ball. Ends up being a throw-in for Aberdeen, and I think they filled it back. Apparently if it's a throw-in Celtic's way. Aberdeen don't look too happy with it, but seems like it was the case. It looks like it just took a slight touch off of Keskin. John Beaton and Andrew Dallas, so should be an interesting one. So let's hope there's no fouls outside or just inside the box, man. They'll spend about 15 minutes and still get it fucking wrong. Oh, trust me, yeah, we were talking about that a little bit before. I mean, me and Flash were having a pretty in-depth discussion about some of the board issues that are going on right now, and I think the main thing is the fact that we're not going to sign anyone until we know that we're in the Champions League. A lot of us were saying, well, we get someone in by the 14th for that registered, you know, Champions League squad for the qualifiers, but chances are we're going to do the classic Celtic thing and wait until it's guaranteed before the board's like, yeah, we'll spend extra money. That's a good header into space, could have been awkward, but should be calmly dealt with in the end. To be quite frankly honest, and Aberdeen will gather it. Maitov just picks it up, retains it, calm as you like. But I genuinely don't think we'll do much investing until after that tie against whoever it is. It looks like it could be Kairat as of now. Obviously they won their game quite late on with that penalty, but I still think Slovan's probably the stronger favourite to go through based on the fact they've got that home tie, so chances are it's those lads. We'll be covering those games as well, by the way. That's a good steal for Keskin, and he just put a bit of pressure on Forrest. It was enough to put him off, and there's some decent counter-attacking. Johnston and Forrest doing well to kind of hold it up. Nygren does well to join in, forces the issue, wins the wins a throw-in, decent stuff. Hey there Mark, nice to see you lad, hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope all is well in your world. That's a good ball out towards Scales. Looks like we're using the left side a bit more. We did this in the first half against St Mirren as well when we had Tierney and Maeda more at full energy. It was a lot more down that left side than it was the right, but hopefully Rogers picked up on a thing or two and we might start playing a bit more central. It's a decent ball for Scales actually there, one just about, still awkward, and in the box Tierney has like a half chance and he kind of goes a mix between a shot and a cross. I think he gets caught in two minds, just kind of does something in between and hits it across the face of the 6 yard boards with pace. There was no one that was going to be quick enough to get to that, as much as Forrest has road runner legs. I don't think he's going to be able to stretch his leg out that fast and cause some problems. Hey Rangy, nice to see you there. Likewise with you, Daniel. Hello to you as well, Chief. Aberdeen are going to need to do everything to get this out for the back. Devlin's going with a long throw in by the looks of it. Celtic just return it to sender. Good shot, Johnston. Love to see it. Very much in one half as of now, so to speak. Very calm football for Celtic. Aberdeen are obviously just maybe trying to test the waters and see what Celtic's game plan might be. Probably why they're playing a bit more condensed. Jenga tries to win that header forward. Carter Vickers just doesn't really gather it and kind of panics with the extra touch, just kind of punts it back across. It's another throw in for Aberdeen on that side. Devlin to Shinnie, plays it back towards Maitov. He'll be put under a bit of pressure from Ida, but not too much in the end. Sent forward. Very much trying to find Yenge whenever they can. That's a bit of a miscommunication between the two. Celtic, I've got to say, I think we got away with one there. Milanovic ain't too happy because there was a collision and Tierney's the one that stayed down. It looks like it was a collision between him and Scales. It didn't look like, oh well, actually yeah, no, to be fair, it is a foul. It didn't look like too much at first, but Milanovic does lean into him. That's what causes like Tierney and Scales to collide in the first place. That's, yeah, it's a foul. You can understand why the Aberdeen fans were frustrated, but if you see it for the right angle, yeah, no, definitely a forced foul though. It's a good interception. There's another foul for someone. Johnston's complaining, so I don't know if it's for or against us. On the way to Thailand. Good shit, man. Hell yeah, hope you enjoy yourself out there. Oh, how you doing? Nice to see you, sausage. Hey. It's a bold excuse for mucking up the team. Maybe a slight bit, you know what I mean. Certainly could be stronger at this point. I think that's fair to say with some of the, you know, signings that we've let slip through our fingers this window so far. That's a lovely ball behind. Hold on, chance for Aberdeen. He doesn't sort his feet out, but it's still very dangerous. Inside that box now, there's about 5 or 6 red shirts against 5 or 6 green and white. Shot is not particularly too good. It's just about maintained on the outside of the box. Played back in, and it's a good cross chance for Aberdeen. He's misswung at it. Tierney's done enough to put him off. Shot back in. It's blocked and cleared away, and should be a throw-in for Aberdeen on that far side. But Jesus Christ, man, that was not particularly great defence from us. You've got to say, first big chance of the game goes Aberdeen's way. Cross in is very high and heavy. It should just fire over everyone, and Schmeichel will maintain it. Aberdeen Ultras have picked up their voice a wee bit now. They have a bit more oomph about them. How you doing, Kel? Nice to see you as well, mate. I hope you're well. You're thinking 2-0 Celtic. A lot of us are in the same kind of boat. We think we're good enough to get the job done, but based on the start, need to be a wee bit quicker out the traps, especially passing for the back, because Aberdeen are playing a very high pressing line. Got to like the way they're lined up, actually, in fairness. That wee Chichi looks interesting, especially where he's positionally based. Forcing McGregor to step in a lot deeper than he's probably comfortable with being, because it's allowing the other players to kind of pincer him, if that makes sense, and steal the ball back exactly like that, because you've got the other two pressed too far forward to actually do anything. That's a lovely wee touch for Dorrington as well, actually. Just keeps it calm. Sent over towards Jensen. Good little scorpion flick on for Tierney. Got more power on it than he was probably intending. Looks like it came off an Aberdeen hand, but referee says ball to hand and says play on. 3v3 break. Here is that Aochiche. He's got it from the edge of the area. He might just go for goal. It's a good effort, and Schmeichel has to tip it around the side of the post. It's a very solid shot. Got to say, Celtic are not the better of the two teams when it comes to chance creation out the gate. Lovely shot for distance. Can't take anything away from it. Well shaped, well shot, but well saved at the end of it all by Schmeichel. It was a handball. It definitely came off Dorrington's hand, so it would have probably been pulled back for that. Probably anyway if it had gone in, but nonetheless it hasn't, so corner kick will be the end result. Swung in towards the back stick, no one's really there, and I think there was a bundled body in the box, so it should just be a foul anyway, and it's exactly what happens. To be fair, as much as you might say it's like 5 of them, there's actually a good amount. You'd say about at least 1,500, give or take. Decent portion of like the southeast corner, I'd say. Definitely a good day for football. Anyone that's there will probably be enjoying the weather, that's for damn sure. 3-1 hoops. It's a good prediction, Jay. Great minds think alike. maybe overhit, but either should loiter. Does well enough. That's better, big man. That's a bit more what we want to see for you. Forrest cuts inside. Maybe here's a chance for us. Could be the first one of the game. Good. Clever cross. It's not a bad one either. You're going to try to sneak in front to kind of steal the header from Maitov, but big man stayed firm. Oh, really unlucky actually. Really put a bit of pressure on, cleared away in the end. I don't know what the fuck Scales was doing there. Maybe he was elbowed, maybe he wasn't. It's hard to tell, but Yengi's not too happy with it. Same kind of thing, just leaned into him as he came down. Took him off balance. Still a bit soft, honestly, but nonetheless. Celtic have it, Negrin out towards Forrest. Good pass inside, bit of space. Johnston tries to be clever with the ball. It wasn't a bad one, and it forces the clearance there. Can't honestly say it's the bad decision for Dorrington. Just kind of puts it out behind, doesn't take any chances with it. But it does give Celtic a corner, just heading past the 10-minute mark, so... 10, I imagine. 1-0 loss after 85 minutes. That's a solid production to go with, honestly, David. It could be one of those scrappy affairs. It's hard to tell in the early stages. Tierney's just getting spoke to by the referee. Very physical inside that 6-yard box. Hands are up like this all over the place. Ball is good and easily gathered by Maitov, and a beautiful displayed black. Oh, that is a lovely breaking chance for Aberdeen, but thankfully Schmeichel is sexy and knew exactly where to be and cut it out calmly. Good stuff, big man. We'll take it. Fucking hell, that could have been a really good break for Aberdeen. That like catch and break for Maitov was very, very smart. I genuinely do admire the way Aberdeen's goalkeeper plays at times. At least when he is like on form. That was lovely for him. Maida's kind of kept... Oh, lovely feet to keep that in play, but the second thought, yeah, does well to keep it in play, but his fucking dribbling there was woeful. Did not sort his feet out whatsoever and just kind of... Yeah, ran out of play himself, let's be honest. That breakaway play could have been really dangerous. Can see a non-Glasgow team winning this league. Oof. I feel like that's a bit of a stretch. As bad as Celtic and Rangers are, we know what happens whenever, even if Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, they start with a 10-15 game unbeaten streak. It's not really about the first half of the season, it's about the second. And more often than not, it's about consistency. Who knows, you could absolutely be right, but I don't see it being that bad. I don't think the Celtic or Rangers board would accept that, man. Good bounce around. I think Celtic get away with that one. It does come off the knee of an Aberdeen player. Thrown for us, fair enough, quickly. I was going to say quickly taken, but he's held it up in the end there, throws it back, and we'll set up from the defensive area. Get your feet sorted out, Carter. Jesus Christ, big man, that could have been dangerous. Johnston eventually gets the pass, and now there is a break down that side. Forrest might just go for the early cross if he can take his man on, stands him up, gets it away, big deflection. Awkward bounce around, headed away at the near post, not gathered. Shinnie eventually is the one that punts it as far clear as you can honestly do so. Hoping for a more convincing performance today. Yeah, no, absolutely, Mark, can't disagree with that. I'm not sure that it will happen. It will depend, to be quite frankly honest. We're getting counter-attacked a lot right now. That's the thing with the way Awachichi's playing. He's playing a lot more advanced, and it's in turn forcing McGregor to stay in deeper, and it's making it a lot harder for the midfield passes to be cohesive. That's why Scales is having to step out further to give McGregor that extra man, and it's why Carter Vickers is having to stay a bit further back. Like, Celtic's shape is not set at all, not in comparison to what Aberdeen's is. It's the thing about having a man further advanced forward. You can kind of upset the back line, which is all you really need to do to put pressure on Celtic, because attacking will make chances. I think Aberdeen are aware of that. But as long as they can keep us out in the wings, then they know that most of those chances will be low XG, which is kind of, you know, preferred for us because we don't score many goals outside the box. We're very much an in-the-box type of team, so if they can keep us out of it, that's best case scenario for them. Oh, 100%. I think the next kind of 2 weeks for Celtic is pretty interesting as a whole. Obviously, of course, we need to get through the qualifiers. That's the bare minimum of expectation that we've got for ourselves now. Getting wins here, obviously getting that win against Livingston, that'll be a pretty interesting game. Of course, you got that old firm at the end of the month that you would like to, for all intents and purposes, win, because that means that realistically, before the end of August even hits, you've already got a 7-point gap over your fiercest rivals, which is a pretty good, you know, building block to have early on in any campaign in any domestic league. It won't be pretty. I think you're pretty much the closest to it wanted. I don't think it's going to be a very comfortable season. It's certainly not going to be like an Invincibles. There will be games where all clubs will slip up. There'll be times where Hibs will lose to teams that are maybe not willing, like Kilmarnock. There'll be times where Celtic will slip up against teams like Falkirk. There'll be teams like, I mean, Rangers have already proven it, teams like Motherwell and Dundee that can cause problems. It's not an insult to Scottish football, if anything, it's accreditation, because it means that there's a slight closing of the gap when it comes to skill. Because there's more and more upsets every season, there's a bit of a surprise result every now and then. I mean, everyone was talking about like Dundee's first point at Ibrox since like 1989 or some shit, man, it was wild. I mean, one game honestly could have been all 3 points. And just honestly, I don't get why you don't do that, Kel. Just pretend every game's a European knockout match and you would be fucking thriving. It's like, we would love to have your problem and yous would love to have our problem. Like, that's the like thing, because we're like, oh, we'd love to be able to be that effective in Europe, man. It'd be fucking class. It's like, we're kinda getting to that point now, but it's taken us a lot longer considering how much more money we've got in the bank. But we've got domestic shit down on lock. You know, we're picking up an average of about 2 trophies every season, so it's, you know, I mean, a testament to what we're doing domestically, but you want to measure our success this season based on our progress in Europe. Like, I want us to win a knockout tie, that would obviously be nice, and obviously the qualifier would count as a knockout tie, but I'm talking obviously post, you know, Champions League group stage. That's a good ball forward. Young gain skills are trying to force each other into an issue. That's a good break. McGregor's done fucking excellent to keep his feet. He's been wiped out there. Bunch of bobbled bodies, and Jensen's not too happy, but he did kind of catch him. McGregor points that out. I'm kind of out to the side, as if to say, I mean, it's never confidence you get filled with when it comes to Celtic, man. It's usually just grief and sadness, you know, most of the time. Especially when it comes to Europe, you're just kind of used to being mediocre. That's why it's kind of disappointing not to see us go big this summer and make a couple of really good, like, ambitious signings. Like, we've made okay signings, we've done alright business, but we can't just be a club that makes profit every season. You've got to have one where you take a bit of a risk and spend, you know, an extra 10-15 million for that specific reason of going for a European push. We know domestically we should be relatively okay, but that's a half decent cross, not too threatening in the end, should be gathered comfortably by Naitov, and he's just going to play out for the back. His display passing is brilliant with his hands. Knows exactly what he needs to do. Hey, and Kevin, nice to see you, lad. Hope you're well. Enjoying yourself. Hope you're having a lovely, I was going to say lovely weekend, that is Sunday. Lovely weekend, I guess it counts. Aye, I can actually agree with you on that one. You do well in Europe, and then versus see if it's a game that actually has some weight to it. For some reason, yeah, but like the second it's like away against fucking Motherwell, or like, you know, home against Falkirk in like December, those will be the games that, for whatever reason, Rangers will be like, yes, we will lose those. But if you get into the Champions League and get drawn against like Atletico Madrid away or some shit, I can genuinely see you going there and winning. That's a good ball in for Reo. Calm touch for McGregor, well displayed out wide. I mean, I'll ask you too, since you are Rangers fans, what are you making of Martin so far? Like, based on his comments after the first match and obviously the result of that, just, oh, that's good for Reo. Ah, you should have tried to sort the pass out, wee man. You shouldn't have gone for the shot there. Very similar to the first half against St Mirren. We've got all ball, but no real result of it. Most of the chances have came Aberdeen's way, and I say that, they've only really had one chance, but it was a fucking cracker. But they're doing very good at frustrating us. We can have all his well, as much as the possession as we want, I should say, but we're not really doing much with it. That's a better pass, looking a bit more dynamic. Cross is okay, but again, no really end product on it. Johnson will just have to retain it far side. Keskin tries to step out to cover him, pass back towards Carter Vickers, scales edge of the area. It's a poor fucking pass, lad. You've got to do better there, especially with the time. Play it out towards the right hand side. Yengi does well to try and hold it up, but same kind of situation. They don't have too many options, and in the end it just rolls into Celtic possession. Schmeichel puts it back towards McGregor, who again is pretty much in line with the centre backs because of how far forward that Aluchichi is pressed. They might not have a lot of the ball possession wise, but they're trying to dictate where the ball is going to be, which you have to give them credit for. It's a boring ass match if you're looking for chances though. It's an interesting tactical battle, but that's about it so far. I'd be honest to say, you know. Oh yeah, 100% sausage if we don't get like extra quality, especially like for me, we need this extra CDM for McGregor for coverage. Like I get that we have Paulo and McCowan that can play in those positions, but it's not natural. It's like last season when we just put Maeda in as a striker. Like sure, it works, but when you have as much as you do in the bank, you should just have a straight out replacement for that sort of situation, so would be nice. Oh, that's good feet. I like that for Forrest. Bit better, big man, forces a corner, gets a small arousal applause for the Celtic support that have shown up there. Not a very interesting dynamic battle so far, but there is a corner kick chance. Oh, submitting another frustrating side. Speaking for experience, that's a better cross in. Still could be dangerous. Reo has it on the far side. It's a decent looping cross, and nobody was switched on to try and make that delayed run. I think it was either with the first crossing that had the chance. It's kind of hard to tell, I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure it was him that tried to like force it. Yeah, it was the one that forced Maitov to kind of like punch it away. Reo didn't do too well with the recovery cross. Well, Kieran Dowell play. You can just imagine that's some. What's that fucking football show that comes out every New Year, man? Literally just that. Just straight up a bit for that. Tune in next week to find out. Will Russell Martin part his hair once again? Will he wear a leather jacket this time? It's like some fucking Top Gear intro. Tonight on Top Gear, Russell Martin finds out what being a manager is. Ali McCoist has a nervous breakdown. And Kieran Dowell finds nudes. Perfect blackmail material, that's how he starts every match. No, you know. Oh, it's a good pass actually. Hold on, Aberdeen are doing decent work in the midfield, but they might get forced back there. Good step out actually for either. Forces them to close the space a bit. Not seen too much for the big man, which is not promising 22 minutes into the game. Still no shots on target, that's a problem. Uncomfortable, but we've got runners. That's better. Lovely for Johnston. That is good work. Ball into the box is a little bit weird, but Ida does actually really well to get the touch away for the shot. Give him credit there, but just doesn't really get the shot away as hard hit as he would have hoped. There's a breakaway chance for Aberdeen. Great control to keep that in play. And like I said, this number 7 is doing bits for them. He's really causing problems for us. Paul's played into space. Bit of a delayed cross and a deflected one of that as well, so Celtic can retain it. But very much a like a fencing match. There's no real deadly stabbing attempt, if that makes sense. They're just kind of poking and prodding at each other. No real end product, let's be honest. Just can't get it in the box. It seems to be our theme, Daniel. Touched on it earlier on, but that's pretty much what Aberdeen's game plan is. If you can keep the midfield pressed back, it makes it harder for the passes out wide and crosses into the box, and more importantly, forces us to be central, which is not where we do our best work. We have to go central a lot more, but it's going to require Ida to do a lot more hold-up play, step in a bit deeper, so it's going to force Aberdeen to kind of step out. It's pretty much as good as I can think of a way to get us into the box, because if we're just passing around on the outside, it's going to make it really easy for them to just trap us and force really stupid loose balls. Devil's going to try and hold up with the byline. Good pressure for Nygren. He's done well there. That's not a foul, referee. Fuck yourself. I mean, even Nygren's like, bro, I didn't even touch him. He just fell over his own arse, basically. Ah, yes, I love swallowing just and it goes down the wrong fucking pipe. Lovely. Can't just expect to get into the box, need to be... Nah, exactly. You need to be able to tease the box the right way, if that makes sense. Get it around the outside, force the fucking issue, and more importantly, test the space. Because if you're just allowing Devlin and Dorrington to hold the outside, it's going to be very easy for them to see where the defence need to be. You've got to kind of force them to stretch themselves out. Especially when you've got players like Hefnielsen and that dropping back into help, because Johnston's playing a bit too far up, and as much as we're trying to use the left hand side, I don't think anyone that's watching the game can particularly say that we've seen too much for Tierney or Maeda so far. Very, very quiet game for them. Just because they're getting marked out. Jensen's keeping Maeda quiet, and that Milanov is making sure that Tierney's always going to got a body on him. It's just good basic man marking. There's a little bit better for Forrest. Tries to go inside, has to be forced back outside though. Come on, boys. Bit better. Nygren does well. Decent stuff, Benji boy. Let's see where this one goes. Rolled out towards space. Might as well get it outside if you can. Scales, go for the cross, Tierney. Does well to force his man. Does get the cross away. It's in the back of the net. It's Nygren with his first goal for Celtic in competitive play, and it's a good finish at that. You got to say, it's not really deserved based on the run of play so far. But all the possession does finally play off, and it's the number 8 that gets it in. Gonna have to see the replay to figure out how he tucks it in behind, but it's a lovely finish, it's got to be said. Finally, Tierney gets that cross away. Brilliant assist for the big man. Beats his man at the... Oh, such a good little turn of pace to get away. Gets the cross just about. Across the boot, man. Just about. And give credit to Nygren because he does well. Times his run brilliantly off the back of his man and just about gets the left foot onto it. Brilliant ball for Kieran Tierney. Brilliant shot for Nygren. He gets it right as it touches the grass as well. Couldn't have timed the hit any better. Perfect wee half volley. Forces Maitov to get a hand to it, and unfortunately Maitov's wrist ain't strong enough. Despite Aberdeen probably having the better of the chances, it's Celtic's first one on target that goes into the back of the net. Well fucking worked. That's what happens when we do get it into the box. Brilliant. Good stuff, boys. There we go. Kick on now. That's what we need. Fabulous. I do apologise, Sausage. It really just depends on like stream delay and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like it's as small as 5 to 10 seconds. Other times it's as long as like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's a fucking lovely finish as well done. You can't take anything away from it. Gives us a building block now. Like I said, we couldn't afford to really go 60, 70 minutes without a goal. So that calms the nerves a bit. And more importantly, puts the pressure on Aberdeen to start having to attack a bit more. So if we get a second, then it could be problematic for them. So far, so good, but still want to see a bit more in the attacking front from us. That'd be lovely. But a bit more pop about the passing now, which is nice to see. Johnston back towards Carter Vickers, just goes inside, calm enough, Reo there. Good pass out towards Scales, ball in behind, deflected and stolen. Brilliant for Tierney to win it back, and good hold up play for Maeda. Gets decked, referee ain't interested, so Maeda says fuck you then and wins the ball back anyway. Good stuff. I love him so much. What a player. Carter Vickers gets the ball back, played out back into space actually I should say. Johnston has it far side. Negrin's getting involved a bit more in the play, which is always nice to see. Big improvement for the last match, 100%. The runs make sense. His passing's good. Tierney's beat his man again. Brilliant stuff. That one's a lot less. Oh, Maeda though. Look at the hassling for Tierney and Maeda. Reo for the edge of the area. Good shot and spill. Shot from the inside, and Negrin nearly gets a double. Nearly 2 and 3 minutes. That's a lot better from Celtic in terms of chance creation. The hassling for Maeda. And Tierney was fucking fabulous there. Not a bad effort for Reo. Forces a good save for Maitov, and Negrin just really can't set himself. Doesn't really take the bobble off the grass that time. He has to hit it as it bounces up instead. So way over. But a lot better. Big improvement inside a few minutes. All our chances have basically came from the 27th minute. So nice to see. Ida's won the ball back from the overpass actually, and in turn gives the ball away, just shoulders his man off it. Good strength. There we go, son. That's what we need to see for you, man. Using your body. Knows that he isn't going to beat his man there in terms of pace, so uses his fucking... That's a lot better, man. Marry that and I'll be quite happy with your performance. You don't need to score goals to be impressive either, you just need to show the right fucking stuff. It's a lot better than the last match. No laziness about him, he's chasing down loose balls, can't fault it. Just again, chance creation would be the only complaint you have with this game so far. Probably for both sides, to be honest. But ever since that chance from Awachiche, it's been very quiet from Aberdeen in terms of, you know, offensive output. That's a good steal chance. Yengi's done well to hold it up, and now as soon as I fucking speak it, there's a chance for them to break. Carter Vickers somehow defends it. My God. Loving the goddamn challenge in the day so far, man. Doing what they need to do. Fucking excellent work for Carter. Still a chance for us to break forward. Well held up. Out towards the face of the area. It's a good cross and it's loitering. Maeda does well to try and keep it in, but it's always going to be kind of hard to do, let's be honest. Might have the pace of Messi, but it doesn't have the control of him. Chuffed, I genuinely could not agree more, Flash. Oh, liquid. Always good to keep hydrated in days like this. My top's going to clear it out from the back. Coming off header in a way. Can't complain about it, throwing for Aberdeen. Chase down. Ah, was hoping for a chase down there. Play out towards Jensen instead for Maitov. Straight into the chest of Scales, can't touch. Big man, love to see it. Couldn't ask for a simpler pass than that. Keep it close, boys. No stupid shit, we should be fine. Only that nice McGregor, but he got really just about got away with that one there. If he didn't get a touch on that ball, it could have been a yellow card. Very aggressive for both sides, man. They're getting into it. Tierney forced back in towards Scales and eventually switched across. Carter Vickers. Good hassle in there, decent. Maybe not the time to try and be taking on 10 people at once, Reo, but it does get the foul. Got to say the ref could be a bit more consistent with his calls. He actually heard Barry on the radio. He's actually quite unbiased in my opinion. God damn it, I got to say manages to put his rival aside and like some other pundits. Yeah, it's the same as like when you hear McCoy speak. Like I've a lot of time for McCoy just because he's like everyone's Scottish granddad. The man just has a love for football, you can't fault it. It's a good breakout actually. Chance maybe for Aberdeen to get away. That's a lovely bit of footwork for Keskinen, and he's away down that left hand side. Johnston's on the chase down. Brilliant for him, and what a challenge it is. Gets his leg in, scoops it from behind. Fucking excellent. Nothing but ball there. Whoa. Oh, it looks even better in slow motion. God damn. Perfect challenge. Jesus. The wee tuck back through the... Oh, wee tuck back through the legs was clean as fuck as well, by the way. Love that for the Canadian. Good stuff, fella. Good stuff indeed. Good pass out towards space. Here's Scales. Run it down. Should point out, well, we're kind of halfway through this half. I should be more than halfway through this half. Comfortably, we've actually got about 10 minutes left, I'll be fully honest. But if you're liking what you're seeing so far, please consider leaving a like on the stream. Keeps us in the algorithm, does all that necessary jazz. If you're new here and you want to, you can subscribe and help us out. We're slowly but surely ticking our way over towards 1700. So any push and support towards that would be absolutely appreciated. That's a good ball out towards space. Chase it down, force Smitov to clear it. It's going to be a battle to see who wins it first. What a touch, you beautiful bastard, Johnston. Breakaway chance. Not the greatest touch for Nygren, but does solid enough to hold it up, and it's going to be a free kick inside a very dangerous area, and I think Shine might potentially be going in the book, but the referee ain't too interested. I think he's just going to give it back for a fault. It is a push on the back of Nygren, and by definition I suppose it is a foul, but again, got to say, a little bit soft. Seems to be the theme across the board with the SFA this weekend. In a very good, very dangerous area. This also proves that Luke McCowan should also be getting starts. Yep, exactly. We talked about it last night. I have a lot of respect for McCowan because he reminds me a lot of David Turnbull. Not really getting the minutes that he deserves. He's a very solid player. We need to utilise a lad more. But, to be fair, if Nygren slaps us on top bins and Rogers made the right call starting them in this match, it would be lovely to see it sail. It's in that area. Free kick is actually not too bad. Does get it over the wall, but it was always going to be sailing high and over the bar. Kind of dips down behind it. Right idea. But way too much power on it. I respect it though. Not the worst effort we've ever seen. Rotation will be definitely key, especially through like the European fixtures on top of like the cup fixtures, especially when it gets like more condensed. Like I know next month there's only about actually 2 or 3 like league games. The rest of them are pretty much all cup and European and, you know, national fixtures basically. Problem is the money staying in the bank pretty much up. Got to give credit, man. Some good performances across the board today. As much as he's not been involved in the play, I like a lot more of Ida's performance this match than the last one because he's actually in the right areas. He's holding up the ball where he needs to. He's, you know, actually playing pretty good. Can't take too much away from him in that sense. Nygren's had a massive improvement for his last match. It's a lot more like him. It's a lot more like what we expected from him. Let's say I should kind of give our dues to McGregor as well because despite being pushed further back, he's not having a bad stint of things. Can't complain too much. Is Miller still likely to go abroad? I'd presume so, right? It's definitely seems like it's almost a dead on that he's going to an Italian side. If he was a CDM, I would make the case to sign him, but he's just another midfielder. And we've got a good amount of those now. It's a holding midfielder we need. I think Torino is the favourite. Them or Bologna, I believe. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Como came in just because of fucking the amount of British players and like British league players that they're signing right now. Probably wouldn't. It actually wouldn't surprise me at all if they do something like that. I'll be curious to see if there's any more chances for the Dons before the end of this half because it seems to be all one-way traffic. At least very much since that opening goal, it's been smooth sailing for Celtic. Much more of the ball. I think we've actually had a few more possession and we should be above 65 comfortably by now. Oh, that's a poor giveaway, not the calmest thing I've seen for you, Nygren. That's a little unlucky, but Scales is there to cut it out. Decent stuff, big man, just kind of pops it away. Motherwell wants 7 million with a sell-on clause. Insane considering the fact they were literally begging for 5 in January. They're just doing it because they know they can. And honestly, I mean, all the power to them. If you're the team the size of Motherwell, every million is like a guaranteed extra season in the top flight, so fucking secure that bag. Good for them. Bit of a piss rip if they let them go for like cheaper than that. Like if they let them go for like 6 million to Italy or whatever, then yeah, fair enough. But if they actually get their sell-on clause and what they ask for, then hey, honestly, all the power to them. It's not as if we would do any different. That's good for Forrest. Lovely touch inside. Forrest, stay on it, big man. Good feet, good control. Reo outside of the box, gets it out into space. This could be a big chance. It's deflected and out for a corner. So really hoping Forrest would try and take a crack when he got inside the box. I think he just took that one touch too many. Yeah, that second one away for his man. He just kind of had to force the pass for that point. It wasn't bad for Reo to play it back across. And a good cut out in the end, in fairness. Can't take anything away from Devlin getting across to that one, but going to be another corner kick opportunity for Celtic. I've had a few of these now. Let's see what happens here. It's not too bad. It's actually a good header in fairness. It was always looking away from the goal rather than towards it. That's the shame. I respect the fact that he tried though. Oh, really unlucky for his skills. He just kind of like has to do a turning nod on. It's always going to be hard to get the neck muscles to redirect that towards goal, but oh, someone's stayed down. I think it's Devlin, I'm not too sure. You got Milner and Nielsen standing over him just to make sure he's good, but it looks like he's stayed down. He's either took a solo onto the head or he's hit his chest. Because he's doing that thing where he's lying down like this, so it's hard to honestly tell. Who's playing up front for us? The front three is Forrest on the right, Maeda on the left, and either starting in between. Just showing that finish back again. It's actually a really clean take. Where is Nygren from again? I believe Sweden. I could be wrong. He's either Danish or Swedish. I think he's Swedish though. Ah, well, yeah, Flash has just put it there, Swedish, aye. Right, good. At least I was right the first time round. Nah, it's a big game, guys. That'll probably be one of the ones that you actually show up for. One of the few that you show up for this season, but one of the one you will. Dale's just having a word with his boys now. I don't think they'll be too disheartened. I mean, they've not had too much since that chance early on, but still, they know as long as they're only one goal behind, they can technically stay in it. It's no different than it was in the final. And they would absolutely take a point right now. Genuinely. Like I said, they just don't want to be the only team that hasn't picked up a point after the first 2 match days. Even Falkirk's able to do that one. Somehow Livingston's got 4, which give them credit. Following up with Mikael Lustig and Henrik Larsson. Some absolute ballers. Yeah, it looks like he definitely took a head knock because they're kind of checking him over. I hope he's good. He seems to be aware and awake, and that's the main thing. I hope he's genuinely all good. I never want to see a player seriously be hot, so Jamesy rolling back the years there. Aye, he's got wee dancing feet, that's for damn sure. It's like a fine wine, the lad only gets better with age. Still solely got the trophy office last year. I know, and they did it with a worse team than this. And it just comes across as a useful reason for the movement to spend money on a goal scorer. Well, yeah, that and the fact that we spent money on like 3 others. I don't see us actually buying an actual striker, but a right winger we do fucking need. I don't care what argument people make. Well, you can play Maeda out there, and technically you could run Ida out in the right winger. Fuck off, don't give a shit. We do not have to go into 2025, 2026 with James fucking Forrest as our starting right winger. Yang isn't good enough to even be a backup last season. How's it going to change this season? It's not as if he's got any better. He's like a bit more creative with his chances, but certainly not good enough to be a immediate reserve, if that makes sense. And what happens if Forrest gets injured, like he inevitably always does, just through fatigue or the like? I mean, you're fucked. So a right winger for sure. We need a CDM, definitely. And maybe if we get rid of Osmond on loan, then go for another striker. But we really should have kept Kuhn. I definitely agree there. Oh, that is... Oh, Yengi, mate. A big man with little control, let's say. Didn't really sort his feet out and just played out towards the side. Well, we're about to take over at the 45th. Very calm so far, can't complain about it. Don't think there'll be too much time on this one, probably just the additional minute, and then that will be us. And then get a wee half-time break for everyone to go and get the wee cups of tea and stuff. Ooh, could be dangerous. Well, they've given 2 additional minutes, which is a bit of a surprise, I'll be honest, but nonetheless. Looks like it'll just kind of be same as usual. Celtic are just keeping the possession stats on their side, just making occasional half chances. I'd like to see us stick a few more on target. That would be lovely, but a bit of an improvement for the first game, I will say. At least a little bit more cohesiveness on the ball. Good hold up touch, calm. 1-2 stuff is decent. Maybe make some cases for some changes in the second half. I feel like McCowan could be one of those calls to come on for Reo, in my opinion. I think that would be one of the kind of main changes I would consider going for. Just because Reo looks a wee bit tired. Maybe not getting as involved as much as he would like to. That's a good potential break for Aberdeen, well dealt with by Celtic. McGregor does like a phase through skip almost, very nice. It's not that he was trying to force his way out or anything sausage, it was just that when Conley came calling, he was like, well, yeah, football in Italy, why would I not want to go? It's a top 5 league, that's what he kind of said was his goal when he joined Celtic, so anyone that knew his game plan knew he wasn't going to stay that long. At least it's not like what Abara was saying. Anyone that's seen all that stuff that's been said over the last week, Jesus Christ, man. That wee prick can go and fuck himself, because I tried my best to defend that wee lad. Sitting there, oh, it's all about politics and the internal affairs of the club. It's like, no offence, mate, but Neil Beaton would never say any of that stuff. And we like Neil Beaton because he's not an absolute prick of a man. There we go, that's half time. I can't say that it's been a particularly effective and fun half to watch when it comes to chance creation, but in terms of football and tactics, very decent. Very solid, very, very okay. You know, it's a very middle of the road type of performance. We got the lead, which is about what you would kind of hope at this point in time. A good finish as well. It was a lovely cross for Tierney. It's a good assist for him. A nice wee goal to open up Nigrin's account for us as well, which is always a nice thing to see. So, you know, in terms of overall results, not that bad. But 1-goal games are never comfortable at all. Techno Viking, here we are. You can tell some people are probably happy with the half-time results. Here we are. Oh yeah, speaking of results, is there any results that you want me to check in any other leagues or whatever? In fact, I want to pull up one because I might as well always do so now that they're playing league football again. You already know this if you've watched me long enough, we have to check. I mean, I already know the result, I just need to show you just because it's really funny and I love to see it. Boys! Alpine Rovers! Yes! Yes! We're not shit anymore, we're winning games. Oh my god, you don't include the fact that we lost 4-0 to Tranent, they can fuck off, but we're winning other games. Oh baby, look at us. Who cares if fucking... No one cares about Ferry Dean. It's all about the Rovers, the proper Rovers. They Aberdeen Rovers, look at them go. To be fair, that was insane to witness. I was walking past the stadium when that was going on. I heard the second goal, I wasn't close enough for the first one. But hell yeah, we love to see it. Things you love to see. We're not horrible. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we can do something. But the main score here is that. We got exactly what we needed, so hopefully, if my local and my team I support actually win, that'd be lovely. I know, absolutely. He downgraded in his own way, Kevin. Like I said, it's just because it was a top 5 league, right? Como is a project club, and there's a lot of good players going there for all intents and purposes. Couldn't would have just been like, well, it's a cool manager, it's an upstart process team. Like, remember a team called Parma? I think it was, right, Parma? That fucking team that played in pink. Like, they did the same thing like a decade ago where they started buying like players for the championship and a couple of players for like even the Irish leagues and things like that, just so that they could kind of build up a profile. Or Venezia is another example where they did that same type of thing. Find out how I get a promotion for the I know, who fucking knows, man. It'd be nice. Yes. What's the score, boys? I'm blind. How did you type it then? It's 1-0 Celtic. Benjamin Reo scored an absolute class goal in the 27th minute. It was a lovely cross for Tierney, because of course it is, it's Kieran Tierney. No bad cross ever comes from him. Don't remember the cross that he put in a minute afterwards. But still, it was a very good goal, to be fair. Can't take anything away from it. Only proper Albion is still in Albion. Brighton and Hove Albion would like to know your location. I don't give a fuck about the Albion part, I only care about the Rovers. We're called the Wee Rovers, not the Wee Albion. Yous are the Wee Albion. Yous already have that spot filled, mate. Nah, we're the Rovers for a reason. Probably the worst Rovers to ever fucking rove. The only place we're rovering is off a cliff and straight into the fucking ocean. Celtic up by 1, spot on. Used to live next to the Ferrydians, so that's insane. I don't actually have any bad blood against them, I want to clarify that. A lot of the teams in like the kind of... I mean, are there any that I actually hate? Maybe the civil service stores, just because they're a bit annoying sometimes. I don't know. Maybe Hearts B team, just because it's Hearts B team. I suppose we can go into the chill screen. Any scorelines that we need to look at? I mean, there weren't any too many games, I should say, that have been going on. A couple of interesting ones in the Championship. I seen Millwall beat Norwich. That was interesting. Your fingers to type, you just can't see. Where can you see? How do you know what the keyboard is? Do you have a braille keyboard? Is that how it goes? Ah man, fuck being blind, that would be absolutely annoying as hell. I respect it though. So they won by 3 or 4 goals. The transfer window will be locked in for January as well. Oh, we don't need to spend any money. We're a point ahead. It's like, so we've picked up 32 points. Nah, it doesn't matter. Give them £32 to spend in the window. Get them all a nice wee ice cream or something. Like, so ice cream costs a £5 nowadays. Fuck's sake, man, the market's getting out of control. Despite the downfall of your mother's local team, did you see the... Let's go with the game chief, pretty mental, despite transfer embargo. I've seen your opening game against Montrose, I know you beat them, but I didn't check any recent results. Hold on. When they score a goal, they'll probably lose a time. Fucking hell, 4-1. And a dominant 4-1 at that. My favourite player of all time, everyone knows him, B Trialist. I mean, a lot of people prefer his brother A Trialist, but B Trialist is where it's at. Fair enough, honestly. Fucking solid performance across the board then. Look at him. Top of the board. We're curious to see if they can stave though. Fair enough to them, generally nice to see. Especially, I just don't want to see them fold the same way that Albion Rovers did. Like, that would genuinely fucking break my heart to see an Northern Financial Club fall the same way. That's why I don't mind Motherwell trying to secure the bag for the North Lanarkshire clubs, just so that it's not totally that bad, man. At least there's one club that's going to be like somewhat sustained for a while yet. Oh, Airdrie's a shithole area as well, let's be honest. Wrexham got done yesterday to last minute goals. Who the fuck were they playing? They're in the... Are they in League 1 or the... I'm pretty sure they're Championship now, right? So who would they have played? Probably one of the teams that went, no I would, because it would be like a team that goes up and the team that goes down, so it would have been like a Southampton or something, right? Who would they play? Text to speech. Celtic have scored a goal. Let's fucking go. Imagine if the guy's name was actually Trialist. Now that would be fucking insane. Oh, it was Southampton. I don't think you have a guy that's actually called Trialist, Chief. I think it's just a guy that's like off, like not fully signed to like a footballing contract. It's probably like a youth player that you've like brought up to test out for a game or two. Because you see it across other games, like I'm not sure if I can find an example, for instance, but if I look through like League 1 games, if there's other teams that do the same thing, you'll probably see like a B trialist or A trialist or even sometimes C trialist. I don't know what teams you would really see that in though, because again, there's a reason why Hamilton are doing that, it's because of their embargo. There's not too many teams that are in similar positions that have to force themselves to do that. In fact, how did Stirling Albion get on? That's going to annoy me if I don't check now. Oh, they drew it Annan. Second in their respective, so I can't really even give them a shot, they're actually alright. Fair enough. Ryan Manning scoring a peach of a goal. Oh my god. Fair enough to them then. Brian Trialist. When you put up a new FM save but you can't be arsed putting in like new gen names. Oh, that's insane. I love that. I think it's just a guy that isn't like professional contracts, so there won't be like an actual football profile page. Like a SFA sanctioned one anyway. Probably just like his Facebook page or some shit. I see it all the time for Rovers games. There was like 6 pre-season games and like every match we scored and half of them would literally just be trialist. I know that we signed 1 or 2 of them like full term, but yeah, I think it's just to see who's good fan of the system. But in terms of who we should go for, it's an interesting one, right? Who the fuck do we even bring in? That's the question, first of all. Do we make changes at half time? God fucking knows, probably. We should. We should consider it. But it's a case of who. That's the thing. Oh, actually, see while I'm doing this, I should check to see if we gained any subscribers so I can shout out anyone that has. I mean, not by name. You need like public sub settings on. You get a wee notification that plays somewhere on the screen if you do. Anyway, to be fair, we gained a couple. We're over 1670 now, so that's very, very kind. It's a joke. See if you ever go to like a lower like non-league game, even the announcers crack the joke. It's like, and your goal scorer, trialist, and everyone will just go, yeah, we don't know your name, yes. It's great because even like when we play actual games, we don't have like shop names on the back, so it's just literally numbers half the time. It's great. Kenny's an interesting one, but I think we've got Shin on the bench, right? We've got Yamada this time round. Hold on, I'll actually bring that up and check. Oh, well, actually, yeah, we have both of them we can choose. Definitely options. I'd say maybe get Trusty on for Carter Vickers or Scales, just so that there's a bit of fitness and rotation amongst the back three strongest. I'd say Yang for Forrest at some point would probably be a good decision, just for obvious reasons of making sure that Forrest's kneecaps don't explode like they're a goddamn mine in the Middle East. I think McCowan would be a sensible choice to bring on for Rio for the same type of reasons, just rotation in minutes. Probably the same for Ingels for Nigrin around the 70th. And I guess you could probably make a case, but it would be a toss up in my opinion between Kenny and Yamada who gets minutes, and I don't know. Definitely every one of those could be a sensible choice. I just think it's interesting that we don't have a goalkeeper, so let's just hope Schmeichel doesn't get red carded or anything, otherwise we'll be playing with Anthony Ralston and fucking net. That'll be fun. Oh wait, no, Sunasal was there, so I just realised that. Never mind. It's because I was reading through the other team. I fucking seen that name over there. It's because of that Suman cunt. Who would they bring on? I would say Malloy would be a shout for them, right? Morris on the wing for pace. Palaversa wouldn't be a bad choice either, I guess. Although why didn't they start letting Clarkson? Is he probably just been mono up for fitness, I'm guessing? That'd be my guess. Kazakh Premier League results. Actually, to be fair, hold on. We can check to see what happened with Kairat. Because maybe they actually played quickly before it starts. Nah, they're not played since then. They've just got their ties. They don't play until the 16th of August. They played on the 2nd of August and won 1-0, if you're curious though. That is very much true. Although this is why the Premier League has such a fucking congested fixture list. Like, you've got other leagues that kick off 2-3 weeks early and get 2 or 3 games in, which, I mean, the Premier League would fucking love in February and March when you're playing games every 3 or 4 days. I don't get why they just don't start the season a week earlier too, just for those extra 4 or 5 like match day games where you can like get a break basically. So the second half's about to get underway. It's a big boy, just intimidate them. Get Carter Vickers to stand though. Well, Devlin's out and running about with the rest of the team, so it seems like he's fine. Don't think his injury is too serious, which is nice to see at the very least. I never want to see anyone injured or hurt. My boys are coming out. Any changes that we can spot? None that I can see. Looks like both sides remain unchanged. Just going to talk in a little bit about my aid on how he needs to have a bit more of an impact in the second half. I don't actually disagree with that. It would be a bit nicer to see him get some more minutes on the ball. We'll switch back to this screen because we're about to get the ball rolling again. Hopefully anyone has, well, that left anyway, has got their cups of tea and had their pissies because we're about to get underway again. Let us commence fourth. It's going to be Aberdeen that will get the ball rolling for the second half. And underway we go. He gets the first touch and it's immediately headed out for a Celtic throw-in, so there we go. Resumption is normal. Going to be interesting to see if the 3-1 prediction holds firm, but as of now I don't think that's going to be the case. Be interesting to see if Aberdeen even get fucking 3 shots full stop. Either does his best to try and break away, he's put under a good amount of pressure, so that one you can kind of allow his slide scales, will just retain it from the clearance, passes it back to Schmeichel, who in turn passes it back to his sort of blonde brethren, let's say. Reo, calm enough, just pops it back. Schmeichel, who has had a few touches of the ball, probably more than our attackers have in the early stages of this one. The Japanese rocket has not been fired up yet. Well, they're a very technical type of people. They like to be very specific, but at least you know once it fires up it's going to be working at 100% efficiency. That's the key thing. Ball's played over the top, and speaking of it, there we go, there are the jet engines firing up. There's Maeda on the cross, forces a good touch again, this time from Dorrington on that near post to kind of get it behind. Had to get the touch right. It was a lovely, well-timed pass for Tierney again. Lovely run for Maeda off the back of his man, and fucking really needed to be a good touch for Dorrington. Otherwise either would have been one-on-one with the keeper, which means there was probably about a 10% chance of us scoring. But there is a corner kick that can be dangerous from these. Nygren. More towards the back. It's headed up and away rather than towards net. Maitov gets it, spreads it out from the back. He doesn't like kicking it. That's one thing I've realised. Lovely pass over the top if they can keep it in. Which in fairness they do. Okay, interesting. Is that Awachiche? He's having a very good game for Aberdeen. Give him credit. Cross-in's dangerous, but straight into the hands of Schmeichel, thankfully. Right area, but no one was there. Give credit where it's due. Nice idea from Aberdeen, but not really the end product. Same issue we're having with our back man up front. It just doesn't know where to be when the ball's being played into the box. Seems to be the theme. Scales plays it forward. Let's see where we go this one. Carter rolls it across. Johnston. Played up into space, calm control, doesn't necessarily get away with it, but it's retained by Celtic nonetheless. Good hold up for Ida, wins it, still trying to play on. Referee's going to pull it back. There was just a few too many red shots around them there. Celtic try and be quick and clever. It could work out. Maeda's been tripped up there. He's trying to look for the foul. He might have actually been looking for it. It's hard to tell. Honestly, the camera panned away just a second too late. I think the foul's been given for the trip up there from Maeda though. The referee's going to have to come across and have some words. Very spicy affair. A few more physical challenges than there's needed to be in the opening kind of 50 minutes or so. Very firm warning for Maeda. I think he's just more annoyed that he didn't get the foul, so he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to do the exact same thing back. Which is basically exactly what he does. It's almost an identical foul. And I think that's what he's probably, because he kind of snapped at the referee afterward and went, well, how's that a foul? But it's like, and that's what the referee's explaining. He's like, because it's what I fucking say, mate. So, fair enough. Maeda's got the ball. Lovely touch for Reo to lay it after him. He just doesn't look fully fired up yet. But we still know he has the capacity to put in a good shift. That's a good clearance for Aberdeen. They'll try their best to force the issue, but it's going to be a throw-in for us anyway. And they will calmly gather it. Throw-in for us, played back towards Scales, and we can go again. Bit better played out towards Alistair. Good touch for Forrest inside. He's going to have to go back though. The thing is, Aberdeen will need to be fully aware that if they switch off even once defensively, Celtic score again, it's going to be very hard to picture them getting a result. At 1-0, you can still see them grabbing something, even if that is a point. It's something that the Pittodrie faithful would absolutely take, especially against a team like Celtic. But if a second goes in, it's a lot more difficult. A hell of a lot more difficult, so that's why we need that one. We do look the favoured side to get it, to be fair. It's not as if Aberdeen have had, like I said, besides that chance that came around the 10th, 15th minute from Awachiche from outside the box, they've not really been able to do much else besides that. Which again is a good sign. Celtic defensively have only faced about 3-4 shots basically from the season kicking off, which is, you know, good for us in terms of statistics. But it also translates to us just not being put under enough pressure, which means when we do it could be problematic, so we really would prefer the second. That's going to be a foul. Maybe a call as well. Referee seems pretty interested in this one. Yep. Just kind of catches Nygren on the follow through. Erik Nielsen goes into the book. Bit of a Scandinavian scuffle there. Coming off, played back towards Schmeichel. Good pass for Carter actually. Not the worst touch in the world for Forrest if he had an overlapping run there, but he didn't. Coming off for McGregor to maintain it. Some decent passing. Carter Vickers. Both passes for Carter Vickers there were very calm and controlled. Ball over the top is half decent as well. I was hoping for the bounce through. Aberdeen player just kind of forces the issue and gets out. He's not going to be too happy with that, Milner, but nonetheless it is a throw in for Celtic, and I don't think we'll complain too much given the circumstances there. Mon indeed. Subtle enough passing his space. How's your feet? Actually not bad. There's Maeda. Good shot. Good save. That's a bit better for the goddamn shot stopper. Give Maitov credit. This time his wrist is strong enough to get it over the ball. That is a lovely save. Nice wee cross in for Forrest, and it's not a bad shot from Maeda. He does nothing wrong. He does what he needs to do. He gets it on target, hits it hard, but if there's any complaint, it's maybe just a bit too central, but he has to do it off the back of a shot from pressure, so he can't fault it too much. Corner kick for us instead. There we go. Nygren 5-star skills. Give him 5-star skills. Good shit. Cannot fault it. Curious to see where this outswinger goes, to be honest with you. It could be near post based on the way that we've lined up. You've got a lot of the Aberdeen players inside that 6-yard box. It is near post. It is dangerous. Still not really cleared. Still not cleared. Oof, I'm kind of pushed away there. It's going to be a throw in for Aberdeen instead on that far side. Not too bad, man. It's nice to hear for you. Hope you're well. We played pretty fucking decent. So far anyway, I'd say we've been the better side over Aberdeen. They did just have to pull off a really good, actually then slow motion, that save in Maitov's actually really clean. Maeda just had a really good chance, but Nygren got the goal for us. Very good one at that. It was a very good shot, Sausage. You are spot on, my son. It's a good ball. Ah, fucking no. That is a bad giveaway. As soon as we give them credit for having a good game, Aberdeen might have a chance on the break. Oh, that is a good block. I'm not sure who it was that got there, but somebody did. Fucking hell, lads. Case in point, we haven't really had too much defending to do. It's always liable to be caught out. Not ideal. It's going to be played out from the back. Good touch actually for Devlin. He's going to try and take his man on. Forrest wins it. Good stuff, lad. Good shift for James this match so far. They kind of keep the ball as close to him as possible. It's a lovely pass as well actually. There's a break down that far side. Nygren and Forrest are both there to overlap. Cross-in's half decent too. Maeda wins the header, but no one's really going to do much on the rebound, let's be honest with you. How's Ida been? Mixed, honestly. He's not really had too many opportunities to have a crack at goal, but his hold-up play's actually been very, very good, honestly. On the sheeps. Well, I'll have to see it, Rory. Hope you're enjoying yourself, lad. Honestly, agreed. Dundee can be frustrating. Yengi's going to come off. It's going to be Sogclair that's... Oh, wait, that's actually the lad that scored the penalty against us. They brought him on in the cup final last season as well, if I remember right, and he was actually a very key piece, so it'll be interesting to see who burns in. There has been a yellow card for Aberdeen. F. Nielsen went in the book for that tackle on Negrin a few minutes ago. A lot of cautions as well, though. It's got to be said. I imagine there's about 6 or 7 players that are on advanced warnings now. Schmeichel. Calm enough. Scales, run it forward, big man. Does indeed just that. Here we go, Carter. Inside. Can you punt it, Schmeichel, or are we just going side to side? Yes, he punts it. There we go. Looking for that. Oh, what a fucking ball that could be, actually. Forrest, get there, big man. Sort of tries his best to just flick it into play, and it's going to be cleared away for another corner kick. Decent persistence to get there, though. Fucking love to see it. Hey, Ian, nice to see you, mate. 15 minutes till McKinnon comes on, and because Bruno Rose always waits still roughly 70 minutes. Yeah, we got about 10-15 before we see those changes, I'd imagine. We've got some bodies warming up on the byline right beside where Negrin's taking the corner from. A few familiar faces there, 100%. Let's see where the cross. Oh, shoot! McGregor! Oh my god, as soon as I seen it was him, I was expecting the net to bulge. It would have been lovely if it did. It was a decent attempt. The layup was, you could see what he was going to do as soon as he laid up. He was always going to hit that, but that's just showing that Aberdeen chance back. It was actually an Aberdeen player that got in his way. Likewise with yours. It's been a very, very calm, so can't complain too much. Pretty good, Caden. Cannot complain, lad. Cannot complain. Just going through the basics, going through the motions, I suppose. Getting stuff planned for, life at the end of the year and all that good jazz. Oh, it's a good steal. How's things been on your end, kid? Hopefully a lot better. You've loved McKinnon since he came in at the start of the season. I was wanting him to play over a tie. Yeah, no, we were talking about it before even kick off. The fact that, if it wasn't Negrin, it honestly should have been, in my opinion, it should have been McKinnon that started this one, maybe and Gilles on the left side. But Roger sticking with the same midfield three. It's not been a bad call. I want to clarify that. Tactically, we have been much stronger in the midfield. And Rio's had a good game. Negrin's obviously scored for us, and McGregor's Callum McGregor. So, in terms of choices, it's not been a bad call. I just think McKinnon would have been a bit more a sensible decision. Obviously, Johnston took a hit in the back of the head there. Nonetheless, we play on. Either does well. That's hold-up play, big man. He doesn't really do justice with the pass back, and instead it just actually leads to us giving away a foul in a dangerous area. Lovely. Are we going to hang on? Well, hopefully, otherwise I'll be hanging on by the end of a noose. I'd rather not see us fuck this up to an Aberdeen side that's done very little to threaten us since that chance. It has to be, fully said. But Shinny's teed up on the end of this one. We've got about half an hour-ish left. Definitely not going for goal here, it's pretty evident. Goes short instead, and that is fucking woeful. That might be the worst set-piece routine I have ever seen. And I've seen some woeful ass set-piece routines. Just end up back at the goalkeeper, and they're probably going to give it away from the punt. And Almitov sends it forward, let's see where it goes. It's actually a good punt again. The display passing for the keeper has been very good. Who doesn't, especially in Summerland? Kebab goes hard. Okay, Rory. I think you spelt diver wrong, to be honest. But Kusama does actually look like a half decent player. Still nowhere near the levels of one Dyson Maeda though. We've all been there, kidding. Some of us have actually taken that one. So, Reo, we'll go on, chance. Played out, far side, cross. Here's a good fucking opportunity, but as soon as it left his boot, man, Forrest even he puts his hand up and says it's not the best attempt. It was a good win back for Reo, lovely chest down, plays it across right, but Forrest just tries to do a bit too much with the ball into the box and it doesn't work out. Oh shit, there's cards coming out. Things are getting interesting. I don't know what the fuck the referee's doing. Someone's, I think Scales is going to go into the book. What happened? I mean, it is a foul. It's hard to argue with that. I think it is a yellow card. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Just the aftermath, I was a bit curious about that. Europe as a whole is, mate. That's the shame about it, Rob. That's why a lot of people in my age range are taking chances anywhere else. It's the sad thing about life. I think it was just for his reaction afterwards, because they were getting in each other's faces. I think that's what I was saying. So it wasn't probably for the foul, it was for the fact that him and McGregor were both like pure standing up Shinny and Keskinen. Or Jensen, whoever it was in that far side. I think it was Jensen, my bad if it was Keskinen, but they look the same for the you know, they look the exact same from this sort of distance. Nice, coming off, we're just passing around the back. Keep it close and controlled, play it safe, and don't give it away stupidly. That's a foul, I guess. And Nielsen's on a very direct path for a red card, man. He's given away 2 fouls since he's been on a yellow. He has to be very careful now. It'll probably be one of the changes that Aberdeen make. It'll be one of the first ones, you can already tell, played out towards that side. Oh, good feet, better. Go on, played out towards space. You've got to get a cross away here, lads. There's people in the box waiting for it. McGregor tries to be too clever with the pass, and that's the problem. When you should cross, you don't, and when you shouldn't, you do. Chance creation is slowed right the fuck down, man. Besides Maeda's chance, it's been very limited for either side. Well, in terms of like good chances anyway. Scales played back towards Carter Vickers. Just should pop out any space here, yep. Back towards the big man. Get the new jab on. Yeah, honestly, I think getting your mad on might not be a bad shout. I mean, there is a shinny on the pitch, so we might as well get a shin. Coming off, back towards Carter. Seems to be the man that's anchoring a lot of the play so far, it has to be said. I don't know, imagine what it's like being someone like me that swears online then. I can't wait for like the new laws to come out. Apparently there's a whole new thing where they're going to try and ban swearing online and in public spaces. And if that happens, God forbid, man, Scotland will fucking rupture. Right then, Harry, nice to see you, lad. We need that second goal fucking too, right, man? All of us are in agreement. That's why all of us have said like 2-0, 3-1. 3-0, like most of us are in the boat that we need multiple goals. Another 1-0 win would be okay. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points, but you don't want it to be scrappier than it is, especially if you get to the last 20 minutes and it's still 1-0. Aberdeen will feel like they can grab something from this, so ideally we need that big chance. I take it Rodgers isn't that keen on Inamura. I think it's just trying to fit in as many people as he can that makes sense for these types of games. I don't think he's obviously too fussed with Inamura for this one, because he knows they'll just probably push Scales to the left and bring Trusty on again, because that's what worked against him. Aaron, please, chance at the edge of the box. Reo. Oh, that's a fucking schemer! That is beautiful! Reo with a fucking rocket, that's what I'm saying. It might take a while for it to fire up, but once it does, it's with 100% effectiveness. What a fucking goal! Oh, you stupidly stupendous little man. What a finish. I'm not sure if it took a slight deflection off of one of the Aberdeen players. It's hard to tell for that angle. But if it isn't, it's a gorgeous finesse and it clanks the top of the bar, dips down over the line. It doesn't deflect. That is just placement. That is just pristine, beautiful football. And that's what happens when we get the fucking smirk, the absolute dirty smirk on his face when he scored that. It's just that pure, aye, I am that good, as he turns around. Beautiful. And Yamada's going to be coming on right on cue as well, and it looks like exactly what I said. Yeah, look, maybe Trusty's going to be coming on and Scales is getting pushed out to the left. Seems like that's going to be the change. We get to see some minutes for Yamada. Comes on in the holy minute of 67. I love to see it. And they've just taken off their man on a yellow-haired. Nielsen is off. Leighton Clarkson, by the looks of it's on. Beautiful goal, man. Things you love to see. Carter Vickers just bodies his man up as calm as you like. Yes. That'll be a jail sentence, I know. It's worth every single goddamn day of it. Anything for Reo Hatate. That's what I'll do with the prison walls. Instead of like scratching one day off, you know what I mean? It'll just be like hate cheese. For a tie. It's going to be, I was going to say to Michael, just don't be clever. Don't be clever, punt it. Yeah. Fair enough. Yamada's first touches in the ball is to hold it up. Ball's actually very well placed. Go on, Dyson! End the game, man! Do not stutter. He's fell over his own fucking feet. Well, one Japaneseman is absolutely pristine with his. The other one forgets how to use them. So fast that he actually broke his own sound barrier and caught himself out. Never seen that before in my life. I swear to God, man, anytime he breaks through one-on-one, it's like his ability to football just vanishes. I love him, but God fucking damn it, man. It's like in his head, he's like, oh, I can see the light. I just need to get... decks it immediately. Like, come on, man. I know you're brilliant with your feet, but you need to be able to dribble with the ball at it. Just blows up. Honestly, we've all been there though. You've at least seen one dude do that in Sunday League, drunk as fuck. Stagger through and goal and just be like that all the way to the net and then deck it. Certainly could have been 3, it would have been nice, because it means my prediction would have been closer to on, but it's still, we still have 20 minutes to still get a goal. And we do have Yamada on the pitch, so it would be nice to see him get it. Goals from all across the park so far. That'd be nice. On the left side of the midfield, right side of the midfield. So the next logical one is McGregor. Well, the assists have came from left and rights as well, actually, now that I think about it. On the right with the kind of Forest one that built that up. That was lovely, and then the first one was Tierney. So when you look at it like that, can't actually complain too much. Pretty fucking damn decent. I don't think either of them are the answer, man. The answer is people that just ain't politicians. That ain't tailor-made. People that actually, you know, serve in their communities and actually understand the problems that are intrinsically at fucking fault. Neighbourhood to neighbourhood. Not just one representative that's never actually lived in that place and went, oh, the bins are overrun, there's like infestation everywhere, there's sewage problems, nobody has stable jobs because it's all contract hours, everyone's overtaxed, nobody's happy, the depression rates are through the roof, the hospital use records are through the roof, alcohol addiction's through the roof, so is murder, stabbings. So Britain is a fantastic place to live, if you're not looking to live at home. I love this place to death, but my god is it fucking dumb sometimes. Good for skills. The only good thing about it so far is Celtic Football Club. It has Celtic Football Club, so. Here's your game yesterday, 2-1 up half time, lost 3-2, that's fucking heartbreaking, I've been there as well. I feel like a lot of people are just in that sentiment. So as most of the people in my age range are genuinely looking to get out, they'd rather like leave. I myself is in that boat. Scales. Played forward to Dyson, good cross. I wasn't going to find anyone, but it could still be pressured nonetheless. Negrin wins the initial header. Trusty wins the knock on, good stuff. Just keep it calm and composed, boys, no stupid shite here. Really don't want Aberdeen to have the next goal, that's kind of the main thing. It was only a friendly, no. Aye, everyone knows that saying, no, there's no such thing as a friendly. You want to win every match, lad. But it's good you have that mindset that you're not taking it to heart. I'm the polar opposite, man. I can lose a game that's literally just between me and my friends and I'm fucking raging. Not because I hate them, but because I hate myself for losing. I'm like, what the fuck, how'd I lose that? Like, pure overthinking it when realistically it doesn't matter. Looks like there's going to be a sequence of changes for Aberdeen. Looks like Morris is going to be one of those. He was one I was keeping my eye on for them to bring on at half time, and same with that Palvara. Or that Palaversa, sorry, how the fuck you pronounce his name? I have no idea. Well, yeah, Shinnie Keskinen and Milanovic are off. Morris, Boyd, and whoever the fuck that was is on. I missed it, so I'm not going to even try and remember it. A child. It's a child. Oh, Dyson. There we go, he's got his feet working there. That pass was awful. It's like he does one really good thing and follows it up with an immediately very, very silly thing. Maeda, masterclass. Oh, it'll be so nice getting Jota back, man. Just to give that man a chance to rest. Oh, I just realised that's what the board will fucking do, man. That's why they won't sign a right winger. Oh, don't worry about it. When Jota's back, he can play that role. Oh my god. Lol. Do not try it. I will throw hands. Respectfully so. We do not need to sit there and watch that shit. I'm gonna get too happy with that one. Gives a wee exchange of handshake. There was a foul off the ball though. Nah, not to be fair, Reo did clip his legs. Then McGregor calling me after them. Just a bunch of fouls. There's that free kick for Aberdeen. No one's really threatening with it, thankfully. Calm enough. Clear away back into the box. Fuck's sake. That could be dangerous. Chance for Aberdeen. Good save, Schmeichel. You beautiful man. That is by far the biggest chance in the match. It is that Palaversa that's managed to get in there to basically get the extra touch. It is a huge fucking save for Schmeichel though. That touch, whoever got that touch in for Aberdeen, the wee like over the back heel, that was beautiful. How the fuck was that allowed to happen though? Ball over the top, still dangerous. Aberdeen are starting to kind of push a little. They know that the next goal is crucial. Could have been 2-1, probably should have been, but Schmeichel's kept us in it. Good stuff. You're worried that Dyson has his head turned? I mean, to be fair, we wouldn't notice he's that fast. Maybe that's what he's done at half time. He just runs down to Brighton or something just to see what they're seeing about his contract. A lot of them, and he's like, ain't interested. Straight back up the road. I prefer to lose friendlies than lose important games. Don't get me wrong. Last season at the end, we would have left without a point. We had the tournament coming in a friendly, and we won. It was like a party. I never played too many Sunday League games. I'll be honest with you. Like in high school and stuff, sure. But I don't think I've ever, like, as an adult, played in a Sunday League match. It'd be interesting. I'd probably get my legs snapped by some big drunk bastard called Keith. He's like 52, just been divorced for his wife, and he's looking for someone to take it out on. He's like, oh, there's a kid with a future. A bit. Nah, it's more fun when you're a kid. That's a good break forward for Aberdeen. How the fuck did he maintain? Honestly, fair enough. Did brilliantly keep that at his feet. He's played out towards that left hand side. Dangerous cross actually, fuck's sake, yeah. Schmeichel kind of at first went to be like, okay, it's fine, and then realised it was actually whipped towards him. He still has it, damn fucking right. Every dog has its day unless it's Schmeichel, in which case that day is every day. I mean, to be fair, it was a good save, but it was straight arm. That's a chance for Celtic, though! Brilliant effort at the fucking near post for Johnston. At the side net, and it was definitely making the keeper think for a second. Might have had his arm up, he was scared that could have crept in. It's a lovely shot. Under pressure too. Got to say, considering the fact that a lot of the play up the left hand side is usually where we go. We've done a lot up the right, but it looks like some changes are going to be made, and more importantly, good ones at that, because Luke McCowan is about to grace the field. About 15 minutes probably to play when you consider additional time, and I'm going to guess and Giles would be the other change, that or Bernardo, I'd guess. Looks like that's going to be the case. So we're going with a pronged attack then, because it means it will be the two striker options with Maeda and Ida, and then it will be kind of like a flat pack 5 in the midfield. But McCowan will be playing more advanced than behind, I'd imagine, so... Yeah, think about more... It's more or less like a 4... What's the best way to describe this? Like a 4-3-1-2. We're just not using wingers now, if that makes sense. Like Maeda will loiter in behind alongside Ida. You'll see what I mean as like the next 2-3 minutes tick on. The valuation being way too low. That's because it's Brentford, man. Any Premier League team does that, they'll try and offer you like half of what they're worth, and you're like, no. But they're the same assholes that will be like, we want 65 million for one of our players. Well, okay. Okay, Brentford. Do we think Kenny's going out on loan now? That's what he said, what was said previously, will be going out on loan if he doesn't sign the contract. He did sign the contract. He's signed on until 2029. I don't know if you've seen it or not, Megan, but yeah, he said it confirmed. It's extending until 2029. So if he goes out on loan, probably it would be this season, but I think it will depend. If it's not Osmond, it will be Kenny. If it's not Kenny, then it will be Osmond. Whoever we don't, will keep as a backup, and Yamada and I'd imagine either will be our main strikers. But we do definitely need a right winger, because if it's not apparent by the fact that we've had to change our whole setup and system, there's a chance for Aberdeen to break around now. That's good hold up for Trusty. Good fucking physicality, lad. Plays out towards Scales, calm enough touch. Just play in towards the skipper and turn back to Trusty, and Trusty back to Schmeichel. Good 1-2 touch passing there. Calm and collected. Good to see. Very interesting subs, but good ones. Trusty. McGregor, nice 1-2. Well, it's a 1-2, then it's a 3-4 and a 5-6, and we eventually get out towards Scales. I like that. I respect the attempt there for Yamada. It was clever, but maybe not the touch to go with our fella. Chance for Aberdeen to potentially break. That's a lovely touch, actually, considering how awkward that could have been. That was lovely, but Celtic retained the ball. Aberdeen have had little moments. You've got to hand them it. They've tried to force the issue, but Celtic really haven't had to come out of third gear at all. It's a much more comfortable performance in comparison to, you know, the St Mirren game for damn sure, but we know that St Mirren game could have ended by 3 or 4 goals if it wasn't for VAR being fucking strange as shit, so... Thankfully it's not really had to be used in this game. There's been no weird contextual, weird fucked up decisions. It's been pretty straightforward on that front, so thank Christ. I'll say that in like 30 seconds later something bad will happen. It's played forward, headed out, and it should just be a throw in for Celtic on that kind of far side, just inside Aberdeen's half. Just shows Steelan looking very not happy, let's say. Very pissed off, very didn't know. You don't think that Kenny will go out and loan, but I want him to because he's shined for Shamrock Rovers in Europe, and I like Kenny, but he just needs to prove himself at a higher level. Yeah, honestly, I think that's kind of closer to accurate. Maybe send him out on loan to Hibs if they get into the Conference League. I don't think that would be a bad shout. I definitely think that could actually be a pretty good call. Conference League football is kind of what you want, because you're guaranteed to get minutes in that no matter what. You won't get that in the Champions League unless obviously our strikers are injured. But considering the fact last season our options were either as a backup and Kyogo as a starter, it's a bit of a downgrade. Or a Dundee. True, but they do actually have, like, that's, what's his name, like Strapsford or whatever it is. Like, he's actually not too bad for Dundee. It's different for Hibs because they usually rely on players like Martin Boyle and stuff like that. Other defenders, more to the point. Plus, if you've got Scottish internationals in that lineup with players like Grant Hanley and stuff, it can never be a bad thing for Kenny. You know, having someone that's got that type of experience, Premier League experience too. You can pick up some good pointers. But in my head, it makes more sense that Osman goes out on loan. I think Bowie's going to have a good... that wee Kieran Bowie does look good. Same with McGrath. Was it McGrath? I think McGrath's due to have a good season for them as well. Good fate. That could have been so lovely. It still could be. I love the fact that he tried for it. McCowan tried to like spread his legs out and get something on that, but Jensen was not taking chances. If in doubt. Doesn't fit Jim Greenwood's system, and also Dundee United, even though I want them and Hibs to go through and qualify as every ball job. Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, Rapid Vienna is a bit of a different one, right? I can see them genuinely losing that game because it is what it is. But it's hard to see what happens between Hibs and Partizan, because Hibs are a good fucking team when they play well. But it's like, yeah, it's like that European kind of cloud where they really haven't been in it for a while, so they kind of have to do something. They're in a good position though, because they do obviously. Partizan has a player that's not available for this match, so that's something. I don't think Rangers will be too worried against Victoria Pearson. To be fair, I think that's pretty much dead and buried. They could probably field their B team in that match and still get through. There ain't too much time left in this one, and Aberdeen's substitutions are trying their best, but I don't think Aberdeen are going to be too pleased overall with the performance. I mean, they had a good 15-minute opening stint. It's kind of how I said it was going to go. Celtic were only ever going to get better as the game went on. It was just a case of if Aberdeen could do something in the opening 30. And I'd say they've had that one big chance this half and the one big chance in the first half, and that's been pretty much about it. That was a big, well, to be fair, half chance for Morrissey. Shoots it straight into the wall though. And the green and white wall gets it away in the end. Eventually passed back towards Mytov all the way. And they're actually trying to play out for the back, which I sort of respect. Good interception for Johnston, Jesus Christ. And then we had to get that right, otherwise it would have been a clean breakaway down that left hand flank. Good stuff for us all round. Much better second half, even though we have not had anywhere near as many shots. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've had less shots as a whole. Pretty sure 3 or 4 at most. But the hold-up play has been good. We've done what we needed to do. The goal was quite nice. I mean, the goal was quite nice. The goal was fucking lovely, and let's be honest, it was an absolute beautiful finish. It's been much more calm. Deflection, oh, could have been awkward. Yamada was there just in case, but might have kind of jumped out and galloped it as quick as he could. We do in some aspects sometimes, right? But most of the time we just put them in our B teams. You'd definitely prefer Hibs to United. Yeah, I think Hibs makes maybe a bit more sense. I think they would get a bit more out of them tactically. But then again, it would require Hibs to get through first. Hell, fuck, even send them to an Aberdeen. They could use it. Yengi's not looked particularly effective, man. They've still not... I'm pretty sure they've had like 5 shots on target over the 2 games as well. So maybe give it to Aberdeen, because they're guaranteed Conference League, right? Because if they don't get through the Europa League, they've got the knockout tie. You all hold for United. I generally do. Like, if you can get past Rapid Vienna, then that's a team that's quite a bit above you in terms of COEF ranking, so it would definitely be a momentum builder. But every time I think about you doing something, I just picture it like that AZ Alkmaar match, where it's like, yeah, you get that 1-0 win at Tannadice and things look great, and then you just get hammered like 7-0 or something, man. It's woefully sad. I had to go get some smoke most of the second half. Well, you missed an absolute beautiful goal, probably a goal of the season contender, Kyle. If you get the chance and you watch it back, Reo Atati scored an absolute fucking screamer off outside the box. Beautiful finesse, perfectly placed off the top of the bar, down and in. Gorgeous goal. Well, yeah, we tried to do that over the last few seasons, right? We've done it with players like Scales and Quan. Like bear in mind, we had to play Rapid Vienna in a qualifiers a few years ago, and it was not an easy game. I'm a good wee side and all that. Like, Partizan falls into that same bracket for me as well. They're maybe not the powerhouses that they used to be, but still a very good result for Hibs. And Celtic do have a very favourable draw, whoever they're against. Kairat's a good wee side in their own right, so obviously we know that sides for Kazakhstan can be problematic. Everyone remembers the Astana tie and how complicated that second game was. God damn. But Kairat seems to be a very low scoring team. It's always 1-0 kind of scorelines by the looks of it, so. No, you genuinely should, mate. It's a class goal. There's maybe a chance for a third here as I say that, though. Yamada's got outside, takes his man on. Again, very similar to what Tierney did in the first half, where it's a kind of caught mine scenario between a cross and a shot. Maybe not the move. Well, you have a good rest of your day, kid, and you take it easy. Well, yeah, we do too. That's the thing I was going to say. Like, again, when we're talking about Albion Rovers earlier on, they're in the same lateral division as like Hearts B team, Celtic's B team. It's like there are developmental ones. It's just that our youth teams just simply don't have as much backing and investment as those two kind of leagues do. Like Belgium's another good example. You always get a good Belgian development. Germany, they're a probably the best example off the top of my head. Ajax is probably one of the better academy shouts, because there's always good academies in the Netherlands. I think it's fair to say that Aberdeen have realised and consigned themselves to defeat here. I think they're just playing for the sake of pride now. Kind of half Hail Mary there, but Celtic look to be trying to break forward for a potential third. That's a good cut out in fairness from... It was Paraversa there, I'm not too sure honestly. Basically just on the referee's whistle now, 3 additional minutes all in to be played. Already been through about 20-25 seconds of it, so... That's because of the financial bracketing cap. It's different in the Bundesliga because like most teams are fan owned, so it's not as weird when it comes to like power scaling and levelling. It's different when it comes to Scottish football, right? Like if you have Celtic's B team dominating the championship every year, then it's not really going to be interesting for the other teams in the league. The 50+1 rule genuinely would fix so many issues in football if it was introduced, like, you know, UEFA wide. It would stop a lot of corruption, I'll say that for free. But it won't stop bad results for Aberdeen. This will be their second back-to-back 2-0 defeat. 4 goals conceded, 0 scored. I don't think that's a good omen for their season, but they could just be doing a reverse Hibs. Looks like Devlin might be going into the book for something later on. He's not too happy, but just a bit of a clumsy challenge, to be honest with you. Not something that they should do. Before this game ends, if you're new here and you would like to help out the channel, best thing you can do if you would like to is just throw us a wee subscription and a like. That's as much as I would ask. Keeps us in the algorithm and obviously gets us recommended to a few more people. We won't be live for the Falkirk Cup match, but we will be live for both the Champions League ties. That could have been Sutton there. You might have had a good header. It was an opportunity, just couldn't really get it on target though. I'll give respect at Shin. Solid stuff. Wee man gets into there. He's offside by a decent bit as well by the looks of it. No, yeah, I take that, but he was offside by a fucking good yard. Complicated. Yeah, definitely. You can get away with it in Germany because it's just fan owned, so yeah, it's not really too much of an effect. Right, you can't just... It's a lot easier to get away with financial shit in Germany as well. That's why they don't have as many teams that end up going bust. Because usually it's the fans that pick the main board members, not board members picking board members. Oh, Aberdeen had a half chance there. They could still get one before the end of the match. There's a half chance, cleared up and away. And instead of there being an extra bounce, that's going to be full time. And I tell you what, it's a very good result. Maybe not the most calm, but Celtic didn't really need to get any further than third gear to get across the line there. Aberdeen, for all intents and purposes, just kind of stagnated. I mean, they had that decent opportunity in the first half. Nice to see Reo sitting there. I hope he's okay. Just looks a wee bit sad, but he's probably the man of the match for me, honestly. Very, very good, solid win, and as Flash just said there, a solid win and a clean sheet. For those that are new here, we do this thing where we yell very loudly, so I will give you the warning right about now if you would like to, you know, save your eardrums some hassle. We'll do that right now. What? Right. Can't be a loud scream today because it is still fairly early and people are probably hungover in this area, so... Gentlemen! For the victory! And for the win. And for Reo Tati's ability to curl a ball into the back of the net with absolute grace. Yes! Yes, sir! Get it round you sheep shagging sacks of shit. No bad blood towards Aberdeen, obviously, but it is funny. They really should have played a lot better than that, especially at home. I feel like their fans will be actually kind of really angry with that performance. Like, god damn. But let's have a little look at the league table now, shall we? Because this is where things get a little bit even more funny. Way! Can you see them? There they are. 5th currently. And still could change, actually, with a couple of other results. There are still chances if Kelly managed to win their game later on. I think they play Hearts, or Hibs, one of the two of them. Well, Dundee United play Hearts. That's actually a very interesting match. There's the lineups for that match if you care. Very, actually identical formations. The square. Imagine the ball being in here. Jesus. Fair enough. That's not what we care about. Who is it Hibs play? They play, I think they are the ones that play Kelly, right? Are they? Yes, it is. Okay. So those are the two that you kind of want to keep an eye out for. But the one that mattered, we win, and that's cool enough. Which means we kind of set the pace at the top so far, so they would need to win either. Edinburgh side would need to win at least a little bit convincingly. Celtic obviously have that advantage of getting that extra goal for Reo, which is always nice to see. We gained a couple extra subscribers there too as well, so thank you to those that have joined us at the end. We do appreciate that. Mondale's an Angel Manager by Christmas, oh my god. Like, specifically requests for a plastic pitch to be put in so there's a chance. The Dutch are not to be copied. No, not Ajax, not nowadays, god. Things you love to see, nice to see those. The only league that doesn't get changed is the top flight. Honestly, it could just be a developmental league. Could do something like that. Yeah, no, the new one's already in effect. If you want a good example, just take my local team, because it used to just be, you know, North and South, but now it's like North Group B, or like Lowland League Group B, or whatever the fuck it is. It's super strange. I know they bracket up a lot more into next season. I think they get a lot more of the fundamentals down right. It's the playoff things that they need to fix though for the Scottish leagues. The fact that you can like finish first in a league below but have to still go through a promotion, and if you lose it you just get nothing. That's kind of pointless. Like, imagine if you're a team like, you know, like, I mean last season East Kilbride, they kicked on and managed to get through, but if they lost their playoff they would have just straight back to where they were last season. Yeah. It's like a Group A, Group B, and whatever. It's like North and South Group 1, Group B. It's dumb as fuck. Yeah. Just not the top flight. Well, I can't really say it's been a bad performance. Maybe a kind of mixed one at best, you know. You can sit there and say middle of the road, did what we needed to do. Can't really say there's anyone that you'd pick out to be man of the match besides Reo. You know, that goal kind of cemented it for me, although I would give a shout out, in fairness, you know, put my hands up and say it, to Carter Vickers, in a very solid game. Johnston too, very, very solid game. Could not agree more, honestly, yeah. Because the highest league makes sure that they get the maximum amount of profit. If you've got the top 6 teams playing each other for the final 5 match days, that brings an interest in revenue. Because you're not going to get like a Hibs v Kilmarnock in that situation. It's always going to be a decent game, like a Dundee versus Aberdeen, or like a Hearts versus a fucking, you know, like a St Mirren. Like, you're always going to get something that's sort of interesting, rather than like a fucking Livingston v Falkirk. It's just for interest. It's the same reason why like the NBA extended their games, or like the first round conference games or whatever, from like 5 games to 7, just so they could get 2 extra games out of it for the sake of fucking finance. It's dumb, but it's what they do. You've Dutch Irish cousins in the Netherlands? Hell yeah. Been there and they came here to come and watching PSU when you were wrong like that, fair enough. I know Oven's a good wee side. I mean, I have a soft spot for Feyenoord for the same kind of reasons, personally. Oh. Shut up. I need an expansion of the leagues. I think that's what we're going to try and work in next season, but it'll be just a case of what they do, or how they decide to go about it. But for those that were just here for the game, that's all that there has to really be. Like I said, I don't plan on covering the next game, just because it's a league match that doesn't have too much importance to me, I'll be honest with you. It's against Falkirk. Maybe I'll cover it if I can be arsed. I'm not too sure. I'll kind of announce it in the Discord if I'm off. But I will 100% be live for the next one, which is on the 20th of August. I'll be live for that one, and of course the reverse fixture, depending on the result. If it's a close game, if it's like a 2-0 up to 3-1 type beat, I'll cover the away fixture as well, but hopefully that won't need to happen. If it's against Slovan or whatever, then just get a repeat of the match that we had last time and we should be pretty much fine. You've seen the women's NBA, they're fun. Can't say that word on YouTube, for some reason it's dumb. Onto the court after equal pay. Yeah, I mean, I always find that amusing because I feel like they could just have like all of them put into a room and have one accountant walk out and explain how if they wanted equal pay they would have to each pay about $400,000 a year to play in the basketball, because they're subsidised by a whole other league. Like, they actively make less money than they bring in. The only reason they do have any money is because of sponsorships, which do not cover the contracts that they already have and wasted. So yeah, the average wage would be about fucking less than $70,000 just based on revenue rates. They're actually getting paid like 5 times more than they should be, and yet they're bitching about it. You're like, I mean, if I was getting paid $80,000 a year to play fucking basketball for 4 months out of a year, I'd take that in a heartbeat, especially if I know that I'm a net loss to the other leagues around me. Like, I get the exceptions to the rule, like people like Caitlin Clark, yeah, give them their money's worth because they're fucking worth it. They're actual superstars that can actually do things like dunk and shoot a 3. But most of the lassies in the NBA are no better than a college level kid. In fact, I'd even go as far as say high school level. Genuinely, I think you could put like a high school level team and they would demolish the fucking NBA or the women's NBA All-Stars. It wouldn't even be close. Just on the simple premise of dunking. It's like a common fundamental in the male game. Well, it's so dumb. I hate that shit so much. Exactly that, man. It's like the NBA want equal fucking pay. They want to balance out their profit, mate, that they're losing. They genuinely do. It's about 25 million a year that it's costing to run that league, and they're like, we want more money. I'd genuinely be so annoyed if I was the like NBA's commissioner. I'd be like, bro, I'm literally giving you like free money to play. Come on, like, get a grip. Half the time they don't even have seats. Little film seats, I should say. No, you're definitely not wrong at all, Flash. I think for me personally, they just need to be able to have like a system that makes sense for all the teams that they can agree on, especially the ones that yo-yo a lot. Because if they're a team that's like yo-yoing downwards, they're obviously going to disagree with it because they're like, shit, it's going to be a harder relegation if we don't get that guarantee of like having 2 fail-safes, where if we don't get, you know, as long as we don't finish last, it's not automatic. If we finish the place above, then we get the playoff. If they just take that out, then it's like, no, if you're bottom 2, you're gone. If you're top 2 in the league below, you're up. Then immediately both leagues become significantly more competitive, because it's not just about trying to be in the first or last spot, it's about trying to be anywhere within the vicinity. That's why the championship is more fun to watch sometimes, because you've got numerous teams trying to fight it out to be in the top 4. And the top 4 accounts for basically a third of the championship, so you've got at least some interest in it. It's not the same in the top flight though, because you know the top six are already pretty much predetermined based on where the fuck they get, right? So like if Celtic are in first, they ain't going to change position. They're going to stay first most likely. Rangers will stay second, Hearts or Hibs will be third or fourth, and then Aberdeen or whatever will be in fifth or sixth. That's how it usually goes. But it's different in other leagues, so they need to be able to tweak it in the right ways. I think that would be like the counter argument that the SFA will make. But yeah, like you've made a good point there. It's going to make it really tough for a team that's in the lower end that kind of does this, where they're sometimes good, sometimes shit. Like you're never going to be guaranteed that ability to just get promoted unless you've got that extra. Hey, if you finish second or third, you know, even if they made it like the bottom two get relegated, top two get promoted, and then have the playoff system for like the kind of third from relegation, like they do in the Bundesliga, for instance. That would work. Why don't we just do what the fucking Bundesliga do? That makes sense. But who knows, honestly. I think that's basically everything that needs to be covered and sorted though, so we might as well find the one I need. That's the one now. Oh. Move to the EPL. We'd need to move to the EPL with the understanding that we'd probably get put into the Championship or something. Because they wouldn't obviously just be like, and put us in there. Maybe they put us in a playoff or something. Who fucking knows. But nah, if we did, then a few years into the Premier League would actually be a very good competitive side. You gave, if you gave Celtic 130-40 million a year just for being there, we could do damage. Yeah, Kyle's kind of hit the nail on the head. Celtic and Rangers are on paper two of the 10 best supported clubs on the planet. Like, as much as Celtic and Rangers want to give each other shit, the one thing we can say mutually about each other is that we're both very passionate fans. We give a fuck about our clubs for obvious reasons, right? Rangers have been through hell and back, so anyone that's still stayed a fan from before 2012 up to now, yeah, they've had to take a lot of fucking jokes, the same way that Celtic fans that have existed since the 90s have. So you've got like all of that going on, but there's like, see, the best way to put it is like there's mutual respect in some aspects as much as you fucking hate each other. You know what I mean? It's like a really fierce boxing rivalry. Like, you'll knock the fucking hell out of each other, you want to take each other's teeth out, but at the end of the day you're like, well, yeah, we wouldn't exist without them and vice versa. Like, you know, Rangers doesn't fully exist without Celtic the same way Celtic wouldn't really fully exist without them. So it's, you know, it's one of those. I'd love to see them both in the Premier League because they would be fucking competitive, I'll tell you that for free. Can you imagine like a Liverpool versus like Celtic, like final league day of the season, and Celtic are trying to push for Europa League or some shit? I'd go so hard. The same way if you've got like Rangers fighting it out for like a Conference League spot or something, and they're up against like Palace, two very passionate loyalist type teams, like that'd be fucking banging to watch. But they know that Celtic and Rangers would be very competitive very quickly, especially on that money. You kidding me, man? We're already dangerous against English teams on like a fucking tenth of our budget, sometimes even more. We've like drew with City twice when their team was literally 15 times the squad value of us. Very symbiotic, you know what I mean? Like, they'll sit there, oh, Celtic leech half of us with coefficient, and we're like, oh, they leech half of us with the fucking domestic shit, like, you get half our backs kind of thing, but it's like, well, yeah, you both kind of need to use each other, if that makes sense, to get to the next level. And Celtic have done it, I'd say, a better way, because we're like, yeah, we'll take the domestic hit, we'd prefer to be domestically more powerful, which translates to us obviously having more cracks at Europe, at least the higher competition, which means we just don't do as well in translation. But Rangers are specialists at Europe, and that's probably why they're not in as much financial disarray as they were a few seasons ago, because as much as they suck domestically and can't pick up wins, they do pick up enough money in Europe to be like, alright, yeah, fair enough, at least we're not totally shite. genuinely, honestly. There'd be a lot of really good games, like Celtic against, like for me off the top of my head, Celtic and Liverpool would be the game to watch, but Celtic against Arsenal, Celtic against United, you've got Rangers against teams like Fulham. Like that, I'd say like Rangers and Fulham, that'd be a cracking game at Craven Cottage, that'd be fucking sick as hell. Or like Rangers against Crystal Palace at Ibrox, because you just know the British flags would be out in force. They would be out in force. So that'd be a good like away day for Palace fans. Like you know you would have some very very good interesting matches. Even like friendly games too. Like you imagine Celtic and Brighton playing each other when you've got like that mutual knowledge and knowing that you've got so many players that go like down to those types of teams. So like we'd link up with O'Reilly and stuff again. Like those would be good natured matches. The same way that I'd imagine like Rangers against someone like, who'd be a good example off the top of my head, like Rangers and Bournemouth. I feel like that would be quite a good friendly rivalry type game, you know what I mean? Like you've got two very different, ways of life, if that makes sense. Yeah, like genuinely fucking it would be UEFA that would be a bit confusing. It would suck for Scottish football as well, because if Celtic and Rangers leave it, then you know what happens. But I think that's everything that needs to be covered, so let's get ready to wrap this up. Oh. Aye, definitely wrong. Definitely not wrong. Right. I think that's everything that needs to be covered, so let's do the outro and then we'll wrap this up. So, thank you for watching, thank you for coming along. If you've been here for just a little bit of the stream or the whole thing, thank you nonetheless, it's been very much appreciated. Anyone that's subscribed, thank you too. Don't know how many we ended on, I can't tell until the stream ends. I don't have like an active live thing, but I know that we've passed 1670, so thank you very much for that. Like I said, I won't be live for the Fall Cup game. I might do, like I said, just keep an eye out in the Discord. I'll usually put up like an hour or two beforehand if I'm doing it or not, so those are the best places to kind of keep tabs on. There's a link for it in the description. You can just search it up in Discord and you should be able to join it. If not though, I'll be live on the 20th and that will be against whoever it is between Slava and Bratislava and that Kairat side for Kazakhstan, whoever wins between those two. So keep an eye out on that match if you're looking for one to watch, because obviously whoever wins that takes on us and that'll be a damn interesting game. It's been a pleasure to have you, Sausage, as well. Likewise, anyone that's been in here, cheers for joining us. Flash, Kyle, every one of you, very much appreciated. And I think that's basically all the things that needs to be addressed and covered. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all that needs to be done. So you can join us at some point over the next kind of 5 to 10 days for the next match. Just keep an eye out, put the notification thing on, you'll get notified when we go live. That's pretty much everything. So let's wrap it up with a good old saying, one of the famous sayings, one of the good sayings of this channel. Celtic are still the best goddamn team on the earth, and more importantly, 4 very good points ahead of Rangers. That'll be nice. Hopefully we'll get some good results today. And I'm going to keep tabs on the other 2 match days between the Edinburgh clubs. Hopefully it's good. It's been emotional. Likewise for you, Kill. You have a good one, lad. Take it easy, boys. You enjoy yourselves. I'm off. Catches. See you when we're in Champions League football, slapping up some team for Serbia, probably. Slovakia. It's Slovakia, right? Probably fucking Slovakia. I don't care. Bye. See you then. Maybe Falkirk. I don't know. Bye.